May 7th. I am Kenneth Woodson, Board Chair. Uh, Several preliminary matters before we get started. Uh, we've muted everyone just so that we could eliminate the background noise that happens when everyone's coming on. And so everyone who's being heard today will have an opportunity to speak unless your matter has been resolved. Uh, just advise all of you, particularly the appellants, that this is a formal hearing, very much like a hearing that would occur in a courtroom. So we ask that you be present and engaged, that you not be reclining in your um, easy chair or your bed, that you be dressed properly, that you not be consuming food or smoking, that you gentlemen remove the hats. This is a formal hearing. And so if you do not comply, we will not hear your case. If you're in a vehicle, you must be stopped in a safe place. Of course, you can't hear your case if you're driving. This is for your safety as well as our ability to maintain connectivity. We appreciate your presence. These hearings were quite long. Sometimes we have nearly 50 cases today. So we appreciate your cooperation and your patience. Everyone was asked to be here at a certain time. Uh, and we appreciate the fact that you're here. But we can't, of course, hear every case at that appointed hour. And so it will take some time. And so we ask also that you understand that these matters are being recorded by a court reporter. Only one person can be recorded at a time. So please be patient and do not speak over anyone. Each of you will be given an opportunity to present your case and to argue your point. Thank you very much. The board itself will introduce itself, after which we will hear from the law department. I'll give us a list of all cases that have been resolved or requests for continuances or other status reports. Again, I am Kenneth Woodson, Board Chair.
Ralph Pincus, Board Member.
Steve Pettit, Board Member.
Roger S. Tennant Sr., Board Member.
Thank Mr. Washington is with us.
Ken Washington.
Mr. Washington, you were breaking up there. We didn't hear you. Okay.
Ken Washington, Board Member.
Thank you. Okay.
Ryan McSherry, Board of Counsel.
Board Administrator, I think, is with us, Mr. Wade.
Wade, Board Administrator.
Thank you. Okay. Who's representing the law department today to give us a list of cases that have been resolved? Oh, one final thing, Mr. Kelly, my apologies. Please, for those appellants, please pay close attention to the cases as they're called. If your address and/or name is called and the status report is your matter is moot or moot complied, that means that you're done for the day. The matter's been resolved. If you need more information as to what that means, please call the administrator. You had that number on the communications from the department. So I ask that you not break into a hearing to get information as to why your case is moot or moot complied. Please understand that it's done for today. You are perfectly fine to sign off. However, if you want to be part of the hearing till it ends, you're allowed to do that. This is a public hearing. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Kelly, my apologies for cutting you off.
Not a problem. Starting with number 5, HA 2023, ending in 077, 1513 Spring Garden Street, Sharon Mays, moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 6, 2023, ending in 146, 3220 Winter Street, Sandra Gibson. There's an agreement for a city affirm with a 1-year stay of enforcement.
Okay, 1-year stay. Thank
Number
you.
7, 2023, ending in 147, 3220 Winter Street, Sandra Gibson. That's an agreement for a city affirm with a $250 fine.
$250 fine. Okay, thank you.
Number 9, 2023-484, 10829 Academy Road. Kazim Bekov Pilek, and I'm just going to spell it AISAKHUNOVA. Last name ZHARKYNAI. There's an agreement for a city affirm with a stay of enforcement pending a zoning appeal. And I believe Mr. Cook's on here to confirm that.
Yes, members of the board, Harry Cook for appellant. We are, Mr. Kelly is correct. We are asking for city affirmed with a stay of enforcement pending a common police court appeal.
Okay. Oh, so wait a minute. There's a difference. The city said ZBA, and you're referencing common police court. Which is it?
That's my mistake. It's common, please.
Common police? Okay.
Thank you.
CCP. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Next is number 10, 2023, ending in 660, 5300 East Roosevelt Boulevard, Zoran Borolja, moot.
Moot. Okay, just one moment. We have a Serbian interpreter that was requested for this matter. Is that person present? Is the Serbian interpreter present? Okay. All right. Ms. Kelly, do you know if the appellant is present? Zoran Borja?
I do not see them, although I haven't gone through all
Okay.
of the appellants.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Wade, just if the Serbian interpreter does arrive and or the appellant shows up, just let me know so we can make sure they understand what happened.
Okay. I
All right,
don't see
thank you.
either of them in the room right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Next is
The
number
Serbian-
11.
Sorry, the Serbian interpreter is here. I was just muted.
Okay. Ma'am, the matter that you were asked to represent is moot, meaning that the matter has been resolved. So what I'd like you to do, if you would, in the event that the individual is here and not, would be to Mr. Kelly, would you repeat the status and then ask the interpreter to repeat that?
Sure. HA 2023 ending in 660, 5300 East Roosevelt Boulevard, Zoran Borolja, moot.
Znači predmet je A 30 033 660 52 20. Zoran Buđa je riješen, pomiren.
Okay. Thank you very much. Interpreter, I think we're finished for today. It's a short assignment.
Okay, thank you.
Wait a minute, sorry. Is someone saying something?
Yeah, I didn't hear my name yet.
And your name, and well, are you requiring a Serbian interpreter?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you didn't hear my instructions early on. So please pay attention. We have a lot more cases to call. So your name may in fact come up. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Ma'am, interpreter, I think you excused for today. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Next is number 11, 2023-696, 5731 Woodcrest Avenue, Julie Stewart, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 12, HA 2023-778, 7405 Stenton Avenue, Crystal Brown, doing business as LU Center LP. There's an agreement for a city affirm with a 30-day stay of enforcement.
30-day stay. Okay. Thank you.
Number 14, 2023-906, 2407 North Hancock Street, Ruslan Nikin, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 15, 2023-2417, 3208 Turner Street, Ruslan Nikin, moot complied.
Moot comply. Thank you.
Number 16, 2023-917, 2031 South Colorado Street, Joel Miller, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 17, 2023-975, 2419 South Reese Street, Douglas Tedeschi, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 18, 2023-995, 6047 Wharton Street, Benita Corbett, moot, complied.
Moot complied. Okay. Thank you.
Number 21, 2023-1753, 3466 Frankfurt Avenue, Silverstone Estates Holdings LLC, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 23, 2023-1779, 5506 Chester Ave, C. Ukshon. That's an agreement for a city affirm with a 60-day stay of enforcement.
60-day stay. Okay.
Number 24, 2023-1788, 4613 Newhall Street, Vashti Du Bois. That's a joint continuance request.
A joint continue. Okay, thank you. It will be noted as continued.
Number 25, 2023-1843, 4844 East Roosevelt Boulevard, Denise Heigler Robinson, moot complied.
Move complied. Thank you.
Number 26, 2023-1886, 4721 Van Kirk Street, 4721 Van Kirk Street LLC / Anastasia. Oh, okay. That's a joint continuance request as well.
Joint continuance request. Okay. We'll
Number,
note it as continued.
thank you. Number 27, 2023-1890, 903 Bridgewater Road, Selim and Amina Zeka doing business as S&E Green Truck. That's also a joint continuance request.
Joint continuance request. Okay. Noted as continued.
Thank you. Number 28, 2023-1916, 6213 West Passyunk Avenue, 3350 JLG LLC, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 31, 2023-1964, 1240 West Tucker Street, Carolyn Baker, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 34, 2023-1979, 2731 Frankfurt Avenue, Timothy Farrell Jr., joint continuance request.
Okay. That's noted as continued.
Number 35, 2023-2009, 2137 Princeton Avenue, Dallas Jones, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 37, 2023-2025, 1403 South 8th Street, Alfredo Nicatra Angelina Nicatra. That's an agreement for a city affirm with a $500 fine.
$500 fine. Okay. Thank you.
Number 40, 2023-2039, 1720 West Ontario Street, William Huarkaya. It's an agreement for a city affirm with a 90-day stay of enforcement.
City affirm with a 90-day stay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Number 42, 2023-2075, 5731 Chestnut Street, Sheikh Tajulusum, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 43, 2023-2078, 6208 Callow Hill Street, Ralph Burnett, moot complied.
Moot complied. Thank you.
Number 45, 2023-2135, 7108 Woolston Avenue, Kimberly Wright, moot complied.
Moot complied. Thank you.
Number 46, 2023-2142, 1324 South 52nd Street, Stacy Watson, city affirm, an agreement for a city affirm with a 120-day stay of enforcement.
120-day stay. Okay. Thank you.
Number 49, 2023-2183, 925 North Lawrence Street, John Loyak. That's an appellant's continuance request that the city is not opposing.
Okay. So in this instance, it's a continuous request by appellant. Okay. We noted that's continue.
And number 50, 2023-2196, 210 East Lippincott Street, Robert Metzger. It's a settlement agreement for a city affirm with a $150 fine.
150. Okay. Thank you.
And that's all that I have. I do believe some of my colleagues may have other matters.
Okay. As per our usual procedure, if you have additional items to add, please use the raise hand sign. Mr. Leonard Rauter.
Thank you. May it please the board, Leonard Reuter, Reuter, Senior Attorney, City of Philadelphia. There was one other matter that there is a continuance request for, number 41, HA 2023-002043, 7241 Wheeler Street. They have an attorney now, Samuel Ben Samuels, and he did try sending an email to request a continuance, I believe, One probably got through to Mr. Wade.
Okay.
And I should incidentally notify the board that the email address boards.admin@phila.gov is no longer working. I've been getting a lot of bounce backs from that email too. But that's neither here nor there. So that's a request for continuance of at least 60 days. We're not opposing that.
Okay, so we noted as continued.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Ryder?
Just let me check momentarily. No, I don't believe there's any. I believe all the others were put on the record then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rulo.
Good afternoon, Chairman. I'll direct your attention to number 3 on the list, appeal ending 889, 1124 to 28 Dickens Street Partners LLC. I believe that Mr. Orphanides is present. He's entered as counsel on that case.
Okay. What's the issue?
I don't see him present. So we did just submit, I see him now.
Present.
So we did just submit an agreement.
He's on the call.
Yes. Okay.
So we did just submit an agreement. There's one violation remaining. So it'll be a city affirm as for the remaining violation with a stay of enforcement to July 1st.
Okay. City affirm, stay until July 1st. Okay. Mr. Orphanides, can you confirm that in the record, please?
Yeah, just on the one violation. The other 3 violations are moot complied.
Okay. All right.
The
Thank
only
you.
violation that's remaining is regarding a vacant property license.
Okay. So noted for the record. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I have anything else, Mr. Rulo?
Yes, I do have one more. Number 1, appeal ending 344 1250 South 45th Street, Margaret Struthers.
Yes.
I am not sure if they are present.
Is the Struthers family present? Anyone present representing the Struthers family? Okay. But what would you like to put on the record, Mr. Rulo?
We have an agreement that was just reached in the past few minutes.
Okay.
It has unfortunately not been emailed to the board. So I do think that unfortunately, I would need Miss Struthers here.
Well,
to
let's do
confirm
this.
her agreement on the record.
Yeah. So this, for sake of the record, we'll just continue this matter and to allow you time.
Mr. Chair, I see a young lady with the last name Kamala waving her hand. I'm not sure if she's a member of the Struthers family.
Okay, she's muted. So, ma'am, if you're attempting to communicate with us, unmute yourself.
Yeah, look in my mouse. Okay.
You're still muted.
Can you hear us now?
I'm sorry. Who am I? Okay.
This is Shawnee Struthers.
Okay, but I don't see anyone. I hear a voice, but I don't see.
Wait a minute. Here I am right here. I have a yellow dress on. I'm waving my hand.
Okay. Alrighty. Just for a moment. Mr. Rulo, is that the individual that you were negotiating with and reached an agreement with?
Yes, so there's some complexities here, but at the last hearing, we learned that
Ma'am, you can't speak while we're speaking. You're interrupting the record, please.
this is the daughter of the appellant, and we had requested a power of attorney form to confirm that she could act on her mother's behalf. That was submitted to the board, and did specify that she could appear in these proceedings and resolve those cases. So I did want to note that for the record because it was an issue last time.
Yes.
I had a chance to speak with Ms. Struthers, and we have come to an agreement that is a city affirm with a 1-year stay of enforcement. As we discussed at the last hearing, Ms. Struthers' appeal documents had requested a series of other forms of relief that the board could not provide relating to other properties. I did explain that to Ms. Struthers again. She indicated that she would have some questions for the board on that. I indicated to her that I was not sure if the board would answer those questions, but I did just want to note that for the record.
Yes. Okay, Ms. Global, would just put your name on the record, please, and your relationship to Ms. Struthers.
My name is Shawnee Struthers Thompson. I am the daughter, sole heir, and power of attorney for my mother, Mrs. Margaret Struthers, T. Struthers, who's also on this call, and we're standing in front of our property at 1250 South 45th Street right now.
Okay, so actually, it's good that you said that because the label that's on the phone is very different. So, and that's what's often recorded by the court reporter. So good, thank you. In this instance, ma'am, you reached a settlement, so this matter is done. You have a 1 year stay of enforcement, so this you excuse for today.
We have some few questions, please.
But no, ma'am, we aren't going to take testimony.
We want not
Because
testimony. We want to
well, that's
have a
what it
question.
would be.
It's not
That's what it-
testimony. I
but
want to know
ma'am-
how can we get something before you, an issue before you?
The
that's
only way,
pressing-
okay, the only way to get an issue before us is
Is
to
it
have
only?
an appeal. This is an appeal board. And so we respond to appeals of violation notices. And so if there's an appeal of a violation, then that's how you come before the board. That's the only matters that we hear. That's the only authority that we have is to respond to appeals. Other general matters would require a different course of action.
I see. Oh, because we wonder why the violations have not been resolved next to us.
Well, that's
And
another
they're
matter
still
based on that.
outstanding.
Yeah, that
So
matters.
can we appeal somebody? Can we appeal someone else's violations?
It depends. Well, you need to check with an attorney on that. I can't give you legal advice. You can speak to Mr. Rulo. He could potentially give you some direction, but we can't give you any legal advice as to how you proceed with another party's matter.
Just to be clear, I cannot provide Ms. Struthers with legal advice, and she has asked me for referrals to other attorneys, and I have indicated to her that I cannot do that. So I just wanted to clarify that last point,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman, if I
yes, sir.
may, sometimes we suggest that an appellant contact their local city council representative whose office might be able to provide some guidance or assistance in trying to go through the city system. Sometimes
Yes.
that's helpful.
And that may be
Okay, thank you.
good in this, or senior law center may be helpful. There are various resources available for individuals in your dealing with your set of facts. Okay, it's just that we are not authorized to do that, and we can't give you any directive or advice. It would be outside of our authority.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
All right. Have a good
Okay,
day.
thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Rulo. Let's see here. We now have I'm only receiving questions or information from members of the City of Philadelphia Law Department. So if you are not a member of the law department, you have a matter, please contact that attorney, or we can put you two of you in a breakout room if that's what you desire. We can do that. But otherwise, we aren't responding to opposing parties. Anyone else from the law department at this point? Anyone else from the law department? Okay, the board itself has a few issues, and I'll raise these as quickly as possible so that we can clear them up. Number 4, 237 South 48th Street, Philip Pulley. Who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, Amy Skiles on behalf of the City of Philadelphia.
Yes, now this is a must-be-tried matter. Is anyone here representing the Pulley family or the Philip Pulley himself?
Yes, my name is Samantha Pulley, Esquire.
Okay, so you're
My camera's
representing,
locked.
are you legal counsel for this matter?
Yes, Michael Yanoff had been originally scheduled to represent, but he is not available today.
Okay, now I understand there's another request for a continuance.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Skiles, what is your response to that?
We don't oppose. The city is ready to go today. However, I know the appellant is trying to work out a resolution, so we don't oppose, but we're also prepared. So whatever the board wants to do.
Okay, Ms. Pulley, what is your position in terms of the ability to resolve this?
I think that we can get this matter resolved within the next 60 to 90 days at maximum. I'm hoping to get a resolution here, truthfully, within the next 30 days at most.
Well, I mean, of course, the issue is we noted it as must be tried, and the board is reluctant to grant continuances once we noted it as must be tried. 60 to 90 days is outside the bounds of what's acceptable. So you can't solve this in the next 30 days?
No, I truthfully believe that we can resolve this within the next 30 days. But again, I believe that there's a slight miscommunication on something that was told to my client previously. And so we just need to be able to get the inspector interior to the premises, because that is where the miscommunication, I believe, lies with the
Okay,
the
let's do
violations
this.
at hand.
Let's do this. This is the last continuance on the record. You resolve it in 30 days, or we hear the matter.
Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Wade, please note it as must be tried 30-day max continuance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe that concludes my business today. Thank you.
Okay, you excuse. Okay, the next matter is number 8, ending in 0175, 2430 North Park Avenue. Angelique Hunter doing business as I Hate 2428-30 North Park LLC. I believe this was also must be tried. Who's representing the city in this matter?
Good afternoon, Chairman Woodson and members of the board. Mary Costello on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
Okay. Is anyone present representing the interests of 2430 North Park Avenue? Anyone present? Okay, the issue that we have here is this was a must be tried. Are you prepared to proceed today, Ms. Costello?
I am Chairman Woodson.
Okay, and they were giving previous continuance to secure the services of an attorney. Do you know if that's occurred?
I do not believe that Angelique Hunter, the appellant in this matter, has secured an attorney.
Okay. Alrighty. Just one more time. Angelique Hunter, doing business as I Hate 2428-30 North Park Avenue, LLC. Representing the matter at 2430 North Park Avenue. There's no response from anyone? No response? Mr. Wade, can you confirm service?
Service was mailed to 60 on the appeal. Appellant address 6711 Egret Place. Service was mailed to 6711 Egret Place on March 12th, 2024.
Thank you. Ms. Costello, what is your preference?
We would ask for a city affirm for failure to appear.
Okay, Mr. Pincus, what time do you have?
I have 1:33 p.m.
1:33 p.m. We will now poll the board on HA-2023-000175-2430 North Park Avenue. Angelique Hunter doing business as I Hate 2428-30 North Park Avenue, LLC. City affirm non-appearance.
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 Okay, Mr. Washington. Yeah, you were breaking up. You may need to go out and come back in because your status is connectivity is it's not as is usual. Okay, but we did get that vote. City
Let
affirm
me do
non-appearance. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go out and come back.
Okay. We're gonna go to number 13. While you're doing that, Ms. Washington, we will move on to number 13. 19. My apologies. Last 4 digits 0826. 1919 West Hunting Park Avenue. Beditza Gadillo. Who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, Amy Skiles on behalf of the city.
Okay. Beditza. Okay, I'm not sure who that is. Beditza Gadillo. I see a hand wave, but I don't hear a voice.
Beritza Cadillo and the property owner.
Okay, there are 2 matters here. Ms. Cadillo, you've done this before. Your name cannot show up on these appeal forms. You are not the appellant. You are a representative of the appellant.
Sir, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the last time we had the hearing, that was decided on. Everything was supposed to be addressed to the owner. I don't know what happened internally, but nothing was changed. We already established that on the first hearing.
Okay, so this is a continuing from a previous hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And
now who is
was
the...
informed that, but we never got anything changed and she never got anything received. Even me, I didn't get no documents until last night at 7 o'clock.
Because your name is the one that showed up as the appellant. But okay, let's do this. Two things. Who is the appellant here? Your name, ma'am. You can't.
I'm sorry, Walida MacArthur, I'm sorry.
Would you spell your complete first and last name, please?
Sure, WALIDAH, last name is MCARTHUR.
Wadia MacArthur. Okay.
Yes.
Already. Now we have
Mr.
another.
Chair, Mr.
Yes.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
this is information appears to be being provided by the expediter, Ms. Cadillo. Shouldn't we be getting the actual owner of the property, who's the appellant of the violation, to state her name?
That's what just happened.
I
That's
don't-
what MacArthur.
I don't
She
believe
says
so.
she. Miss MacArthur, are you the owner of the property?
Yes,
Okay.
Anybody else's name on the deed?
yes, it's my brother and it's my daughter.
Oh, because you have a problem. You need a lawyer. Unless they're here with you. Is there LLC that's on this property?
No,
Okay. Mr. McSherry and Miss who's representing the city again? Oh, Miss Skiles.
Miss Skiles, yes.
Mr.
What is your
Chair,
reaction?
Don't we have a timeliness issue as well?
Yes, we do that as well. We do as well. But I want to get through this one
Mr.
and go to
Chair,
them.
once you're done with Ms. Skiles, I think we should take a brief on
Okay,
this. Thank
Miss
you.
Skiles.
Yes, I would have been objecting on two grounds. The timeliness matter. I think it can be dismissed on timeliness alone before we even have to get into the standing. The NOV was issued October 12th, 2022, and that stated an appeal date of November 11th, 2022. This appeal wasn't filed until January 21st of 2023. So I would be asking that as the appeal was filed over 2 months late, that it would be dismissed on timeliness. I would raise a standing objection as well. I know as Ms. Cadillo stated herself as the applicant, the NOV was issued to two parties. The owners are two natural people, but there was also an operator, an LLC operator at the location who was issued an NOV as well. And as Ms. Cadillo listed herself as the appellant, it was unclear who exactly the appellant was, if it was on behalf of the owner or the operator, one of which would need an attorney. So I would have those two objections, but
Okay.
I would ask that it be dismissed on timeliness.
Okay, thank you. What we're going to do is that a board member has asked that we take a short executive session. So before we decide on this matter, we're going to do that. So going off the record for a few moments and we'll be back shortly.
okay.
Regarding, this is regarding 1919 West Hunting Park Avenue. Let's see, who were we? Yeah, Ms. Skiles.
Yes.
And we have a couple questions for Ms. Skiles as well as the appellant, Ms. MacArthur. So that there's no confusion, Ms. Kaditsa, I'm going to ask you to step aside so that your image is not in the picture and so that we
Okay.
don't hear your voice. Okay, two things. Ms. Skiles, we checked the record. It appears that there was a continuance in the previous hearing to
Yes.
allow for a reinspection. Is that what your record reflects?
My when I checked, it was a continuance. It looked like there was a need for a Spanish interpreter, I thought, is what my notes reflected. But there was, if it helps the board, there was a recent inspection in
So-
preparation of this hearing.
So a reinspection has occurred.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and given that it was a continuation from previous hearing, that the timeliness matters, we're dismissing that as an issue. Given that began the hearing, we allowed it to be continued for a reinspection to occur. A reinspection has occurred, and so at this point, we aren't going to dismiss it for timeliness. Okay. The second thing is that we do have an issue though with the standing matter. Ms. MacArthur.
Yes.
There's two other people's names on this. Derek, Mr. and Mrs. Sutton, I believe, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Where are they today?
They're home. Mr. Sutton is in a wheelchair, and Miss Sutton, she's at work.
Okay, is what any reason why they couldn't be here, given that their names on the violation notice?
Because I was always the one that came to the hearing and did the paperwork and all that or whatever, so I just continued on doing it. And I was
Okay.
never told that they had to be present.
Well, okay, but you're being told now that unless you have written permission from them to represent their interest in this property, they had to be present. You can get something
Yeah.
in writing from them to represent them. Do you have that?
I don't have it on me, but I'm quite sure I can get something in
Well,
writing.
that means you don't have it. If you don't have it now, we don't have it here. You don't have it, correct?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Unless you want to hire an attorney, that would be the other way to do it. Ms. Skiles, you understand our problem here in terms of the individuals.
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
didn't know, I was unaware that they had to be present because I've been doing this. I've been the one handling everything, being as though my name is on the paperwork also. So if
okay.
you look at, you'll see my name on everything.
Well, unfortunately, for being presenting before the Board of Review, and I
Mhm.
also believe the Zoning Board of Adjustment, the owners of record have to be represented by either themselves or some document, some legal document, given the person present to represent their interests. Ms. Kadia, as a expediter, is not permitted to do that. And she's been advised before her name should not appear on the appeal forms. The appellant, the owner of record name should be on the appeal forms, or the recipient of the violation notice should be noted as the appellant. And so what we're going to do today, we're going to have to continue this, give it a short continuance, so that you can either get those individuals to put something in writing that allows you to represent them and or to be present for the hearing.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Will they send me the information because they keep sending it to the expediter? In the last meeting, I gave someone all my information.
Well, let me ask
Contact
you
me.
this. What address is on the violation notice?
1919 West Huntington Park, but nothing was sent at all, even email. I gave my email, everything.
Okay, Administrator, Mr.
Chair.
Wade, wait. Mr. Wade,
ahead.
that information should be going to the appellant. Would you just check the record, please, so that we don't have any confusion on that? You muted, Mr. Wade.
Both notices to appear for this hearing and the previous hearing were sent to Beditza Kadila at 3675 Frankfurt Ave. There was no contact with board's administration to update the appeal and add either the owner's names or their representative name.
Okay, so that
The
means
last
Ms.
meeting-
No, ma'am,
Go ahead.
stop, please.
I'm
What you
sorry.
need to do as of today, contact the board administrator and add the updated information in terms of individuals and address, okay?
I did that the last meeting. I sent everything over.
Who did you send it to? Do you have
They told me to contact that the lawyer would contact me. I emailed my
No, ma'am. You just gave me a conflicting response. You said they told you to send something, then they said the lawyer would contact you.
No. I was at the last meeting. You told me to get in contact with the lawyer. The lawyer, I put all my information, sent everything email to the lawyer.
And I'm asking you
My
which
name,
lawyer.
address.
I'm asking you which lawyer did you contact?
It was a mail. It was a mail last.
Do you have that email handy? You can tell us who you contacted.
No, I don't have it in my phone, but I did email him.
Okay. What we will do, Miss Skiles, if you
Yes.
would put your email address in the chat, Miss MacArthur, look,
Yes.
can you access the chat?
Yes.
Miss Skiles, the information will be there.
I have
Email
to-
the
I have
updated
to do
information to her. Mr. Wade,
I have to do it. I'll do it right now.
Okay, Mr. Wade will make it available to you. And so on the record, Miss MacArthur, you will contact Miss Skiles to make sure your information is updated.
Yes, I'm putting my email now.
Well, just wait, just follow the instructions. You're going to get Mr. Wade, what's the next step here, Mr. Wade? Mr. Wade, what's the next step?
She's going to email both Amy and I'm giving her another email just to change the name. She may want to, the actual owners of the property should be listed as the appellants. And
Okay.
then she can get her power of attorney, or they can appear on their own behalf.
Yes.
She's
So
getting both these emails in the chat right now.
okay. So Miss McCarthy, you go to the chat. You will see the names of the individual you should send an email to. Okay.
If I may, Mr. Chair, just let me add that the information regarding a written authorization for Ms. MacArthur to proceed should be provided to Ms. Skiles at the city so they can determine if it's acceptable.
Yes, and that should be done before the next hearing, Miss McArthur.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So do you see the names of the persons that you need to send an email to?
Yes, so I just send my name, my address and telephone number.
Yes, send all that information regarding the appeal that you and put the other person's names and their
Yeah.
phone numbers on in your email, so
Yeah.
they'll know
Appeal
that
number.
everything should be sent to the three of you
And your
Yes.
appeal number.
and their phone number.
Oh,
Yeah,
and my
the appeal number.
Appeal number.
can
I'm
I
sorry.
have the appeal number?
The appeal number is on the forms that you have in front of you.
Okay,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. So we will continue this matter.
For how long?
Hello.
Will you let me
It's
know?
quick. We're going to read. The administrator will let you know, but it'll be as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay. Let's move on.
Hello.
Who is this? Who's interrupting?
I'm muting them now.
This is Derek Coles. Can you hear me?
Yes, but sir, you're interrupting a proceeding, so please do not interrupt. Okay.
Should I
Yes.
just wait?
Yes, just wait. Just wait. Okay, number 19. Who's representing the city? Just for the record, that's 1633 9457 Landsport Street.
Good afternoon, members of the board.
Hi, I'm
Chairman
here.
Woodson.
Lansford Ghost.
Mr. Costello, that's it's just a de minimis timeliness matter. I just want to indicate that we're not going to make that an issue.
So
It's like
are
6
you
days.
saying,
Oh, wait a minute, Miss Costello, we got somebody else who's interrupting. Would you mute this person? I'm not sure who it is. It says
I'm speaking about Lansford Street.
okay. You're the appellant. Your name doesn't. What is your name, sir?
I'm here. My name is Mama Aborji, and he's represented me.
He can't. Is he a lawyer?
No, I'm her contractor. I'm pulling the
You
permit.
can't represent her then. Only a lawyer can represent her. So if you mute yourself, sir, Miss Costello, you can be a witness, but you can't represent her. Miss Costello, I raised this. Hopefully, I didn't raise it.
Super confused.
A problem is that there's only a 6-day tardiness in this. Was there an issue?
yes, so the city would raise an issue on timeliness for this matter, but you're saying that because it was 6 days late,
Yes,
the
we're going to
board's
proceed.
ruling is that we'll proceed. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Great. Thank you,
All
Chairman
right.
Woodson.
We'll call it in order. So is this everybody? Just we'll call you shortly. Number 20, 1683 4430 North 5th Street. Miguel Santiago. Who's representing that matter?
That's me again, Mary Costello, on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
Is Santiago present? Now that's the 60-day delinquent tardiness.
Yes, I am present. Hello.
I need to see your face, sir.
Oh, hold on a sec.
We do have a concern about this, Miss Costello.
Yes.
See me now?
No, we can barely see you. Now that's better. Raise your
Okay.
right hand, sir, because I need you to put something on the record. Do you swear affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're more than 30 days late in your appeal. Why is that?
Not too sure on that, on the appeal. Don't know I
Okay.
was late. Didn't know I was late, to be
Did you read
honest
the
with you.
appeal form? Did you read the violation,
did.
rather? You read the violation?
Yes, sir.
And the violation clearly states you have 30 days from the date of the violation to appeal the violation.
I thought I did the appeal. That's why I'm here today.
You did do the appeal, but you didn't do it within the 30 days.
I see. But I did
Yes.
some work to
Okay, but
correct
that's
some of the
not what we're
violations.
talking about, sir. We're not going to hear your
I'm-
case today because it wasn't timely. You didn't file it in a timely fashion. You had 30 days. Your violation
asked
notice,
for a
ma'am,
continuance.
I'm speaking, sir. I'm speaking.
Okay.
The violation notice was February the 18th, 23. You didn't file your appeal until April of 23. That's considerably beyond the 30 days, and no, you can't have a continuance. And so, Ms. Costello, unless there's an objection, we're going to dismiss this for untimeliness, for lack of timely appeal.
There is no objection on behalf of the city.
Okay, sir, this matters. Your appeal has been dismissed for lack of timely appeal. Understand? Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Alrighty, let's move on.
You could.
32, 1966, 3257 Frankfurt Avenue. Petrit Pascoli, who's handling this matter? Number 32, 3257 Frankfurt Avenue. Petrit Pascoli. Who's representing the city in this matter?
Good afternoon, Amy Skiles on behalf of the city.
Ms. Skiles, we have a standing question here,
Okay.
but no one's responding. I'm not sure who the Petrit Pascoli, I don't believe, is the owner of record.
That. Sorry, I'm just pulling up. Yes, it's not. Yes, it's not the owner of record according to my documents as well.
Okay, is anyone present representing the interests of 3257 Frankfurt Avenue? Petrit Pascoli. Okay, Mr. Wade, can you confirm service?
Mr. Pacioli, listed on his appeal form 10819 Knights Road, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Service was made to 10819 Knights Road on March 8th, 2024.
Thank you very much. Ms. Skiles, what is your pleasure?
We would ask that the appeal be dismissed for failure to appear.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pincus, what time do you have?
2:08 p.m.
2:08 p.m. Okay, we'll poll the board on HA-2023-001966 3257 Frankfurt Avenue. Petrit Pascoli, Pasholli, city affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance. Sorry about that, Ms. Penn.
Thank you very much. Let's go down to 33. Final four digits, 1975 443 North 51st Street. Derek Coles.
Hello, good
Derek
afternoon.
Okay, sir, are you Derek Coles?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who's representing the city in this matter?
Good afternoon, Caitlin Carmody on behalf of the city.
Good afternoon, Ms. Carmody. Mr. Coles, we need to see your face and unmute yourself, sir. Mr. Coles? Oh, I see you now. Okay. Your background is so dark, we can't make out your face.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me find the shade. Hey, how about now?
Nothing has changed. Are you on two different devices?
No.
Because I see okay.
Let me
Wait. You have something in front of your face, right? Are your hands in front covering your face?
No. I'm just so unfamiliar with Zoom. I went to the library. They end up getting me to the Zoom app, and so I've been just waiting, and I'm just too unfamiliar with the process. Can you see me now?
No, Mr. Wade, can you help out at all?
I'm trying.
Right
Hold on 1
now,
minute.
And then you a prompt now.
let me see something. Hold on. I
Okay.
pressed the button that says start my video.
Yeah, that's what you did. Yeah, you're perfect. Now we can see you.
Okay, great.
Okay, but now I see another Samsung that's unmuted.
That
Ms.
was that was for the case. That's for case 19. There were
Oh,
two
okay.
Samsungs I misidentified. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Mr. Coles, what is your relationship to 443 North 51st Street?
Well, I'm a resident there. The owner, the previous owner, Eleanor Cole, was my mother. She passed away, and so I live in the property.
Okay. Okay, so your name is not on the deed.
As of yet, no.
So we can't hear you. You don't have any standing to bring this appeal.
Well, I don't know. I didn't want to be in jeopardy of anything. I wanted to address the matter.
Well,
So,
sir, just give me
yeah.
some. I can't give any legal advice, but you need to resolve this Tango title matter. Unless your name is on the deed, you're going to have trouble trying to respond to any municipal action against the property because you're not the legal owner.
Okay.
Mr. McSherry, what do you recommend?
I mean, I'm not sure how long the process will take. I expect again the process to be. I mean, it's been some time since the violation was issued, and I'm not sure where Mr. Coles is along in the process of transferring title to the property to his name. I'm not sure if a continuance would actually serve to be beneficial. I don't know how long it would take, but as it currently stands, Mr. Coles does not have standing.
Yeah. Ms. Carmody, what is your response to this matter?
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes.
may, Mr. Coles, are you a senior citizen?
I'm 61.
51 or 60? Well, he's not a senior. I was going to suggest the Senior Law Center as a resource to help you deal with the legal issues, but
Community legal services may be better.
yeah, maybe community legal services.
Ms. Carmody, what is your reaction to this?
As you'd said, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Coles is not the owner of record on the deed, nor were the notices of violations issued in his name. And excuse me, as such, the city would request that this appeal be dismissed for lack of standing.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for Ms. Kamadi. Have any of the violations, has there been a recent reinspection at the property? I mean, they're just property maintenance.
There has been a recent reinspection. I have our inspector on the call, some of which have been resolved, but some of which have not been.
Okay, let's do this so that we can at least get this thing structured in the right direction. Mr. Coles and Mr. Carmody, I'm sorry, Miss Carmody. We're going to continue this matter for at least 30 days. Mr. Coles, in the meantime, you need to start the process of having the property ownership clarified.
Okay.
Okay, if that has not occurred when we come back together, we're going to have to make a decision as to whether to dismiss your appeal. Because you are not you don't have standing to appeal. You have to reappeal once you get this corrected anyway.
So, all right, I guess the direction I don't know, maybe just to ask a little bit of advice, I guess the direction that I'm gonna try to go in is to maintain the property, keep it up to a code, so I won't have any code violations, and then go to the legal aid and see how they can direct me into transferring the
yes, get to whatever you need to do for the will and all that's the ownership. But actually, I'm reconsidering my decision based on my thought here. This matter really should be dismissed for lack of standing, so as not to clog up the record and to create a new appeal. Mr. Coles, once you get the legal matter resolved, and if you have any of the violations after that, you can then submit an appeal based in your name. Understood?
Yeah. Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I kind of understand. I do comprehend well, but
okay.
Could you repeat that for me?
I'm saying that
Mr. Chair,
yes, Mr. Tennant.
If I may, I would also ask Mr. Coles to direct him to his counsel office because I believe that particular district that he's in represents individuals with tangled titles very well. So
Okay.
just to share that.
That's some additional advice, Mr. Coles, to check with your city council person. Okay. In the meantime, in terms of this matter, Mr. Coles, we're going to dismiss it for lack of standing because you do not have legal standing to bring an appeal. I'm not going to continue. Let me finish. Let me finish. You do not have standing to bring the appeal. So we're going to dismiss your appeal for lack of standing. If you get additional violation notices after you've corrected the title matter, then you appeal in your name because your name will be on the deed. But until that happens, you cannot appeal any official action. Okay?
So, I think I comprehend what you're saying. So is that a positive ruling in my favor, or
No, it means
no?
that your appeal is denied
Right.
because you don't have standing to bring an appeal.
I
And so
understand.
in the okay.
So I understand. I hear your decision, and I probably need to speak to someone that has more background in this. So I had to probably speak to a legal aid.
Correct.
Okay. So now, what legal aid do you? And did you mention?
You're gonna have to look that up. Go to your city council's office, and they can help you.
Right. And
Okay.
city,
The council person.
Would that be a district city councilman?
Yes, your district council person.
All right. So thank you.
But we can't give you any other advice. We are not attorneys here to give you legal more permit to give you advice, and we have to move on, sir. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Have a good day.
You also.
Ms. Carmody, unless you have other matters before, you excuse.
I have a few more matters, but thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Wow. Long list today. Number 44. This is 2090-1628 John F. Kennedy Boulevard, Lawrence Solomon Esquire. Who's representing the city in this matter?
Stephanie Hyman for the city.
Ms. Hyman, just wanted to know if you're prepared to proceed. This will be a confidential hearing, and so at the appointed hour, we will go into a breakout room. Do you know if the appellant is present?
When I reviewed the participant list earlier, I did not see his name.
Okay. Is it your preference that we wait until we call your case, or that we take some action now?
I would ask that you take some action now.
Okay, so you was fully prepared and ready for this hearing today?
Yes, my witness is Melissa Stewart.
Okay, you in issues. Well, let me do this. Let me get through my preliminaries and then come back to you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll do that. Let me come back to you. Number 47. That's 2174-2262 North Van Pelt Street. Keith Grimes. Who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, Caitlin Carmody on behalf of the city.
Okay, Ms. Carmody, we have two issues here. One is that this matter is, I believe, is LLC is the owner of record.
Correct.
Mr. Keith Grimes, is there legal counsel for Mr. Grimes?
No,
Okay, I had two voices speaking up.
no, that was me. No, I don't. I'm Keith Grimes.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Keith Grimes.
Okay, I see a Katrina Carr on the line. That's the name that I'm looking at.
No, that's just the name under which my phone is under. But
Okay, we need you to change the label and give us your image. We need to see you.
Share my image.
We need to see you. Yes, open your open your video.
Oh, okay. Can you see me now?
Yes. Okay. Mr. Grimes, we have two matters here. One is that the property is owned by the LLC.
Yes.
And LLC has to be represented in these matters by a legal professional, by attorney. You need to hire a lawyer to represent you.
I don't have money for an attorney, so what's the alternative?
To withdraw your appeal because we aren't going to hear it without a lawyer.
And that's a mandatory issue.
Yes, sir.
Because I got insurance on the home, I have to have an attorney.
That's the mandatory. You got to have a lawyer as an LLC, it's corporate owner.
He can go to community legal services and see if he can.
Yeah, it has to be another alternative. You can't tell me that I have
Sir,
to have.
look, we aren't going to argue with you. We're going to tell you.
I'm not
this.
arguing with you. I'm just. Can you submit me that in writing that it's mandatory
we're
that
telling
I have to have a lawyer?
It's in writing on the repeal. The violation notice that you got is in writing on that violation notice. It's there. If you read the violation notice, it will tell you. If you corporate ownership, you need to have an attorney. The second issue here is we have a timeliness issue. You got the violation notice in March of 23, but you didn't appeal to May of 23. You missed your 30-day window.
No, I did not. I was told that when the officer first came out and I told her that the property was not even being rented and that it was squatters in the building, she told me that it was that the case was terminated. I was never even made aware of the issue until almost into May, because when the officer came out, she came and she inspected and she told me that it was terminated.
Okay.
I never even
Did you get a
discussed
written
or talked to
violation
anyone.
notice? Did you get a written violation notice in March?
No, I didn't. I didn't receive anything until May. That's when I filed the appeal for it.
You didn't get a written violation notice before May.
No, I didn't. I didn't get any notice. I
Okay,
happened
this
to
is what we're
actually.
going to do. This is what we're going to do, because you need a lawyer to represent you. So we are not going to make a decision on the timeliness matter today, because that needs to be argued on your behalf by an attorney. So in the meantime, we're going to continue this to allow you to get yourself an attorney, and make sure that you inform the attorney that that's a matter that we're going to raise as a question. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, just
Yes.
to provide a little clarity, I'm looking at the appeal, which was filed by Keith Grimes, who has an address on, looks like Weston Drive in somewhere in New Jersey, whereas the violation notice was issued to Grimes and Faust LLC at 1836 Mountain Street, which would probably is the address of the violation. And so the fact that it didn't get it to him in time may or may not be because of any fault of the city. That may be the only address the city had on record for the Grimes and Faust LLC.
Okay, Mr. Grimes, is that Grimes and Faust LLC address a good address for you?
Yeah, but this is supposed to be for 2262 North Van Pelt, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I never listed anything for Grimes and Faust for that address on there. I put my address, which is 1032 Western Drive. So I don't know why would that even be on there.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, there are two cases, number 47 and 48, which list Mr. Grimes as the primary appellant.
Yes.
That might be referring to number 48, which is moot, but I don't believe was read as moot in the preliminary list.
Correct. Okay, so number 4. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. But Mr. Grimes, the Van Pelt Street, who owns that?
I do. It's under LLC.
It is? Okay. And we will have to continue that to allow you to get an attorney.
Okay.
All right. All right. Now, make sure that you go into the record and check to make sure that your mailing address is correct. And so I would advise you to contact Ms. Carmody today and give her the proper mailing address. Ms. Carmody, would you mind putting your email address in the chat, please?
Yes, we've communicated over email before, so I believe Mr. Grimes has my email.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, it appears that the address used in the appeal is also for this property at North Van Pelt Street is indeed Weston Drive in Williamstown, New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the administrator has the correct address. Okay. All right. Thank you. So that matter is continued. So let's move on to number 47. And I believe, Ms. Carmody, you have an update on the status of that matter?
For number 48.
48, my apologies. Yes.
It's listed as moot already on my list. I just don't think it was read as moot when we initially ran our list.
Okay, just read that into the record, please.
Sure. That is appeal number HA-2023-002175 regarding the property at 5136 Ransed Street. Primary appellant Keith Grimes. This matter is moot.
Okay, thank you. The matter is moot. Okay, thank you. Mr. Grimes, you excuse.
Thank you. Okay.
Now, the last preliminary matter I have is number 52, and that's 0025156 West Schoolhouse Lane, Penn Knox Neighborhood Association. Who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Leonard F. Reuter for the city of Philadelphia. There's also outside counsel here on this case, Mr. Skleroff representing Penn Knox Neighborhood Association, Mr. Matt McClure representing the Pennsylvania School for the Deaf, and I believe also Meredith Trago, also representing School for the Deaf, is here.
Okay, I don't see Mr. McClure's image, but I guess
I'm right here, Mr. Chairman. Good to see you.
Oh, okay, there you are. Yep, there you are. The question I guess I have here is that is everyone prepared to go, or are we wanting to continue this matter?
If I may,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, can I be
Just
heard?
put your name on the record, sir.
Neil Sclaroff, I'm an attorney with Dilworth Paxson, and I represent the Penn Knox Neighborhood Association, the appellant in this matter. Mr. Chairman, we've put in a request for a continuance. My client has asked me to represent them in these proceedings. As I've written to the administrator and to the board, I had surgery scheduled for April 2nd, and the neurosurgeon postponed that to April 9th. And with recovery from that surgery and the medication that I'm on, and my instructions not to bend, lift, twist, or drive, I have not been able to prepare as well as I would have if I would have an additional continuance.
Okay.
So I'm asking for a continuance. I don't see why this in any way adversely affects the school, as the school is required under the approval given by the Historical Commission that it has to get zoning relief.
Okay.
And I don't know that that's been achieved at this point.
Mr. Roder, any response to that?
Sure. I mean, we're certainly sympathetic to Mr. Sclaroff's condition. And, you know, again, we have been made aware that he was receiving medical treatment, and, you know, I will wish him the best in a speedy recovery. But just in terms of proceeding today, we received an email from board counsel yesterday, I believe it was yesterday afternoon, maybe it was the day before, indicating that due to the nature of this type of appeal, again, this is an appeal of a decision by the Historical Commission on a permit application. It is not a de novo hearing. It's essentially basically going to be legal argument based upon a certified record that was submitted to the board some time ago. We also, again, sent or reshared the files for that Historical Commission record to the board and all the parties again more recently. My understanding is that the parties would only be afforded 15 minutes per side to basically make argument in the matter. So while I certainly understand and appreciate Mr. Sclaroff's predicament here, in terms of the legal issues, they've been well known pretty much since the time of the Historical Commission's decision. So, you know, I will let Mr. McClure and Ms. Trago respond for their side. I mean, there may be a compromise,
let's do
but
this.
I'll let them.
Yeah, let's do this. I'll hear from the other parties. Just short reaction to Mr. Sclaroff's request, please.
Hi, Mr. Chairman, Matt McClure, on behalf of Pennsylvania School for the Deaf. We approached the board back in February about having an expedited hearing on this, given the safety concerns for the children on the campus, and we are proceeding with the zoning, as Mr. Sclaroff mentioned. But we reached out for an early hearing. We tried to coordinate around Mr. Sclaroff's schedule regarding surgery, understanding it, and tried to have it submitted on the briefs. For some reason, Mr. Sclaroff wouldn't even respond of why he couldn't do a brief in February.
Okay, Mr. McClure, I'm asking you to tailor your response, please, to the request for continuance.
We are certainly sympathetic to any health issue. However, we're not sympathetic to filibustering this out.
Okay.
And given the length of the matter that the board solicitor has laid out on his email, it was actually Friday, 15 minutes per each side. We would like to go forward. If we can't go forward, we certainly would like to have a date in May. This is a significant issue for the School for the Deaf, which is represents children of need who are diverse, mostly below the poverty level.
Mr. McClure, I heard your argument. Let's move on. Ms. Trago, if I may be mispronouncing your name.
I have nothing to add to Mr. McClure.
Okay. All right, thank you. Based on the request that has been made by Mr. Skleroff and the nature of this issue, we're going to grant a short continuance. Thank you, Mr. Wade. If you would coordinate with the parties to make sure that the continuance is appropriate. Thank you very much.
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman,
Yes.
if I may, just as a matter as this appeal proceeds, I want to make sure that there's no objection from either council for my continuing to participate on the board in this matter. I am extremely familiar with both Mr. McClure and Mr. Skleroff, and over the years prior to my serving on the board, there frequently have been referrals made by them and me between each of us. So they are colleagues of mine. I've known them for a long time, but I want to make sure that that relationship that we had in the past, but not any longer, is not a problem for them, for me to be able to continue to serve on the board and hear this appeal.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Skleroff, then Mr. McClure, you have any objection?
There is no issue here. There's no necessary for a waiver. It's always been a pleasure to work with Ralph. Maybe to his disservice that he knows one or both of them.
Mr. McClure.
Ralph is a dean of the bar. I'm thrilled to have him on the board.
Thank you.
No,
Any
it-
response from Ms. Trago or Mr. Roder?
The city has no objection whatsoever to Mr.
Okay.
Pincus continuing on the board for this matter.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, obviously this application is of considerable.
Well, now, Mr. McClure, you broke in before I had an opportunity to hear from
I
Ms.
apologize.
Ms. Trago, any response to Mr. Pincus's concern?
No objection.
Okay, thank you. Now, is there any other matters that we need to contend with today? Because otherwise we've continued it and we're going to move on. I got a lot of other cases to hear.
Is May 23rd good?
I have, is
May
it any way,
23rd
May
would
21st
not
hearing, the
be good.
23rd, I have a direct conflict.
Okay,
And-
Mr.
and
Skleroff.
21st could work, that'd be much better. 23rd is very difficult.
Okay, let's hear from Mr.
Mr.
Skleroff.
Chairman, I have to wear this thing 24/7 for another 30 days.
Okay,
And I'll be taking medication so that I can wear this for my spinal cord to rehabilitate itself. And I would ask that it be no sooner than June. And I think I would be in better shape to zealously represent my client if we were in July. This condition at the facility has been going on for 30 years.
okay. So let's do this. I've heard your argument, Mr. Skleroff. I've heard your argument, and we will do it no earlier than June.
Thank
Understood.
you.
May I respond?
No, we're done. Let's move on to the next matter. Thank you very
Sure.
much.
Thank you.
Everybody's excused. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, in terms of preliminary matters, I think that that's it, except for the revenue matter. And that's HA 2023-002090, 1628 John F. Kennedy Boulevard, Lawrence Solomon Esquire. Okay, let's recall that, Ms. Hyman. Mrs. Solomon has not responded. Is Mr. Solomon present? Mr. Wade, can you confirm service?
Yes. Listed on his appeal form is 1628 John F. Kennedy Boulevard, Suite 2200. Service was sent to 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2200 on March 8th, 2024.
Thank you very much. Okay, Ms. Hyman, what is your pleasure?
I would ask that the board find in the city's favor for the petitioner's failure to appear.
Okay, thank you. Time, Mr. Pincus?
2:34 p.m.
2:34 p.m. Thank you very much. We will poll the board on HA-2023-002090, 1628 John F. Kennedy Boulevard, Lawrence Solomon Esquire, city affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
Thank you very much. And I was incorrect, and that we do have one more preliminary matter. That's number 39. That's 2033-1254 South 28th Street. Joseph McCaw, MC Gough, who's representing the city? Oh, Miss Hyman, that matter's been dismissed, so you're excused.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Who's representing the city? — 1254 South 28th Street.
I'm the inspector for that job.
Okay,
Hi,
I need the lawyer to sign in.
No, this is Leonard Reuter for the city of Philadelphia.
Okay, Mr. Reuter. Is anyone present representing the appellant, Joseph McCaw?
I am.
10-foot long. Your name, sir?
Joseph McHugh.
My apologies for mispronouncing your name, McHugh.
It's hard.
My apologies. Mr. Reuter, the issue we have here is one of timeliness. Our record indicate that there was a March 15th NOV and the appeal did not occur until May.
That's correct.
We're concerned with that, Mr. McHugh. Why didn't you submit your appeal in a timely fashion?
When I got my very first notice, the second page was someone else's final notice. So that's where the instructions for the appeal were. I didn't realize I had to respond. So when I got the next month, when I got the final notice, I contacted somebody there. And we finally got that figured out that it was somebody else's notice. They even got a different case number on the final notice.
So the document, Mr. Reuter, the document that he did receive, did it include instructions for appeal?
Again, I can't say what document he received. I have the copy of the violation notice would have been complete. That was the violation, I believe, is number CF 2023-020-726. And again, I can say that we sent out both an initial notice and a final notice on that. The initial notice looks like it went out. If I'm just pull it up here for a minute. Yeah, the initial notice went out March 15th, 2023. It has 2 pages. I mean, again, I can't confirm whether they received both pages or not.
Okay, I
Obviously,
just
have
want to
no
know if
idea.
the first page has any instructions on it based on what he would have received.
Let me look over that notice.
There's a cabinet. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Wade.
Yeah, the appeal language is on the second page. So
Okay.
you know, I can show it if you want, but
Okay.
I'll-
Do you have
I'll
any
confirm
objection?
that.
Do you have any objection to us hearing the case today, Mr. Reuter?
I mean, it's up to the board. If the board believes the testimony is credible, that they only received
Okay,
the
we'll
first
proceed.
page.
We'll proceed. Okay, thank you very much. We'll call it in order. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Kristen Pascal.
Good morning, board.
Yes,
This
we
is
need to.
Kristen Patchell for the city. My camera is turning on. I apologize. I have a late preliminary matter. I just spoke with attorney John Taylor,
Okay.
who is on the call. He recently entered on number 222, which
Yes.
pertains to 3343 Kensington Avenue. He's
Yes.
requesting a continuance. The city has no objection to that matter.
Okay, we'll note that as continued. Thank you.
you.
Is that your only matter for today, Ms. Paschal?
That is, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All righty. I believe that's it for preliminary matters, unless there's someone else. I don't see any additional hands raised, so let's proceed. Mr. Wade, what do we have for that first case?
I believe, and I just want to confirm with Ms. Costello that any of the matters that needed, that there was an inspector deadline have all been resolved for today.
Yes,
So I'd like
Mr. Wade, to my knowledge, they have.
I'd like to start with the interpreter case.
Okay.
That's case number 29. Hearing appeal, let's identify the interpreter first. Amharic interpreter. They were on the call.
Yes, can you hear me? I'm here.
Yes.
Okay.
This is case number 29. Hearing appeal HA 2023-001960. 2723 South 78th Street.
Okay. Let's do this because we're gonna get in the weeds pretty quickly, Mr. Wade. So let's do this. Yes, ma'am. Sir, please put your name on the record. Give us your name, sir, the interpreter.
My name is Marshat, and I am the Amharic interpreter.
Okay, thank you. Would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Right hand. The other hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, sir, what I'd like you to do is to repeat in Amharic everything that's said in English. And
right,
the
okay.
appellant will respond to you in Amharic, and you will respond to us in English on the appellant's behalf, okay?
Okay.
So the
Mr.
only
Chair.
voice, wait, just a moment, I'll get right to you in a moment. So the only voice we will hear in response to the city's presentation will be yours, okay?
Okay.
Now, what we will need to do, for sake of understanding, I'm going to ask Mr. Wade, our administrator, to read in the case one more time, and I'd like you to repeat everything he says, okay?
All right,
And I
okay.
just want to advise everyone else to be patient so we can get the interpreter enough time to speak. Before you start, though, Mr. Wade, I had a request from a board member. Someone asked the question. Is that Mr. Washington? Someone else had a
It's
question.
Mr. Kelly, the court reporter.
Pardon the interruption, Chair.
Yeah.
Could I please have the interpreter's full first and last name?
Yes, interpreter.
Yes, my name is Marshat Walde.
Spell
First
both.
name is Marshat, Marshet, and my last name is Welede. Did you get that? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Chair,
Mr. Wade.
Washington.
Yes.
May I be excused for
Yes, sir.
Now I'll be back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is case 29, hearing appeal ending 1960. 2723 South 78th Street. Tashimi Jember.
ይሄ ኬስ 39 ነው። ይሄ 1960 27 23 ሳውዝ 78 ወይዘሪት ጸጋነሽ ጀንበሬ እርሶ ኖት? She says yes.
Ms. Jembre, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn?
እባክሽን ቀኝ እጅሽን አንሺና
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
ዛሬ የምትሰጪው ቃል እውነትና ጥሩ እንደሆነ ትምያለሽ ወይ በእግዚአብሔር ፊት?
Yes.
Okay, she says yes.
Okay, thank you. Remember, Mr. Wally, anything she says has to come from your lips in English.
All right, okay.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Costello, you have any witnesses today?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Mary Costello, on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
ጤና ይስጥልኝ። ሜሪ ካስተሎ እባላለሁኝ። የፊላደልፊያ ከተማ እሱን ወክዬ ነው ዛሬ የመጣሁት።
I do have one witness today.
ዛሬ አንድ ምስክር አለኝ።
That is Inspector Robert Curran.
እሳቸውም ኢንስፔክተር ሮበርት ከረንት ይባላሉ።
Okay, Mr. Curran, is he present?
ሚስተር ከረንት ቀርበዋል? አዎ።
I don't. Oh, Mr. Curran. Okay, raise your right hand, sir.
እባክዎትን ቀኝ እጆትን ያንሱ እያላቸው ነው።
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do. ዛሬ የሚናገሩትን ነገር እውነትና ቃሎትን ይሰጣሉ ለእግዚአብሔር ፊት ብሎ ጠየቀው። እሱም አዎ ብሎ መልሷል።
Okay, Ms. Costello, please proceed.
ወይዘሮ ካስተሎ እባክዎትን ቀጥሉ።
Members of the board, this is a permits matter for a zoning and building permit.
አሁን የምናወራው ስለ ዞኒንግ እና የግንባታ ወይም ደግሞ የህንፃ ፍቃድ ስራ ላይ በሚመለከት ነው የምናወራው።
The appellant's appeal does not contest the violations. It simply asks for more time.
ለዛሬ የሚደረገው ውይይት እንዲቀጥል ነው የምንፈልገው።
With that being said, I would like to call Inspector Robert Curran.
ይህም በማለት አቶ ሮበርት ከረን ወደፊት ጠራለሁኝ
as my first witness.
እንደ የመጀመሪያ ምስክር።
Inspector Curran, can you please state your name for the record?
ኢንስፔክተር ከረን እባክዎትን ስሞትን ይግለጹልን ለዚህ ጉዳይ።
My name is Robert Curran.
ስሜ ሮበርት ከረን እባላለሁ።
And what is your position with the city of Philadelphia?
I am a building inspector for the Department of License and
just wait.
Inspection.
Before you
okay.
answer, can you just wait for the interpreter to say
I
what just-
apologize.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you repeat your question, please?
My question was, what is your position with the city of Philadelphia?
ከፊላደልፊያ ከተማ ጋር የእርስዎ ጉዳይ ምንድን ነው? የእርስዎ ኃላፊነት ምንድን ነው?
I am a building inspector with the city.
የህንፃ ፈተሻ ወይም ደግሞ ፈተን የህንፃ ስራዎችን እንዴት እንደሚሰሩ የምከታተል ሰው ነኝ።
And what are your duties as with holding that position?
በዚህ ቦታው ወይም ደግሞ በዚህ ስልጣኑ ምንድን ነው? ስራዎት ምንድን ነው?
I inspect homes under construction. That's what I do.
እኔ የምሰራው ህንፃዎች ሲሰሩ ውስጣቸው እንዴት እንደሚሰሩ መከታተል ነው ስራዬ።
And how long have you held your position with L&I?
ለምን ያህል ጊዜ ይህን ስልጣን ይዘው ቆይተዋል?
I've been working with the city since L&I since 2018.
ከ2018 ጀምሮ ይህን ስራ እየሰራው ነበር ከከተማው ጋር።
And as part of your position with L&I, are you familiar with the Eclipse system?
ከኤልናይ ከተማ ጋር እንደ ስራው ድርሻው ያውቃሉ ወይ የሚሰሩትን ስራ በደንብ?
Yes, I am.
አውቃለሁ፣ በደንብ አውቃለሁ።
And what is that system?
ያ ሲስተም ምንድን ነው?
It's where we do permitting. All of our permits are located, all of our jobs and everything.
ስራችን በተመለከተ ህንፃዎች ሲሰሩ ፍቃድ መስጠትና ለመስጠትም ይጨምራል።
So essentially that's the record keeping system for the department. Is that correct?
ስለዚህ ይሄ የሚጠቀሙት ሲስተም እንደዚህ ሁኔታዎችን እየቀዱ ማስቀመጥ ነው ስራው። ልክ ነው አይደለም?
Yes, it is.
ልክ ነው።
Are you familiar with the property located at 2723 South 78th Street?
በ2723 ስትሪት ላይ ያለው ቦታ ያውቁታል በደንብ?
Yes, I am.
በደንብ አውቀዋለሁኝ።
How so?
በምን ያህል ሁኔታ ያውቁታል?
I inspected the construction that was done without permits.
ፍቃድ ሲሰጣቸው ህንፃው ሲሰራ እኔ ነበርኩ የምከታተለው፣ ተከታትቼ ያየሁትኝ።
Have you also reviewed the Eclipse file associated with this property in its entirety?
የኤክሊፕስ ሶሳይቲ የሚባለውን በደንብ አይተውታል? ሁሉንም እንዴት እንደሚገናኙም ጭምር?
Yes, I have.
አዎ አይቼዋለሁኝ።
Permission to share my screen, Chairman
Yes,
Whitson?
please.
ፍቃድ ይሰጠኝ ስክሪኔን ለማጋራት እያለች ነው። ፍቃድም ተሰጥቷታል።
Before we proceed, Mr. Kern, if you could ask your colleagues in the background to kind of keep the volume down, please.
I'm in a packed office. I can mute while I'm not talking.
Well, the problem is that when you're trying to talk and they're talking, it messes up the court reporter. Is there any other space that you can use?
I'll try to find something real quick.
Just okay. Please do that, Ms. Costello. Just for a moment, we need to make sure that his testimony is not corrupted
from his computer, so I'll be losing service.
Okay. If you could advise those persons in your area that you're on a hearing, if you could tell them that, that may be helpful.
I'll try. They're having a separate meeting. Hold on.
Chairman, should I let her know that what's happening?
Yes, please.
Okay. ትንሽ ድምፅ እየረበሸ ከሆነ ስለሆነ ወደ ከኋላው ወይ ሌላ ቦታ ፈልግ ወይ ደግሞ ሰዎች ድምፅ እንዲቀንሱ ነገራቸው ብለውት ሄዶ እየነገራቸው ነው።
Okay.
ኦኬ
Okay, Mr. Kern, let's proceed. Just one note to everybody involved. If this becomes an impossible record to make, we're going to have to continue this matter because I don't want to corrupt the record and I need everybody to be heard clearly. Mr. Kern, you can proceed in your testimony.
አቶ ከረንት መቀጠል ይችላሉ። ነገር ግን ይሄ ድምፅ የሚረብሽ ከሆነ ለምንይዘው ማስረጃ የሚያስቸግር ከሆነ ለሌላ ቀን ለማስተላለፍ እገደዳለሁ። ነገር ግን አሁን መቀጠል እንችላለን።
Sure.
Inspector Curran, can you please identify what's been marked as City Exhibit A?
በሲቲ ኤግዚቢት የሚለው ምን እንደሚል እባክዎትን በራስዎ ቃል መግለጽ ይችላሉ? አቶ ከንድሬ
That is a violation notice in order to correct.
የቫይሌሽን ኖቲስ ወይ ደግሞ የማስጠንቀቂያ ወረቀት የተሰጠበት ነው።
And what was the date of that violation notice?
የማስጠንቀቂያ ወረቀቱ ምንድን ነበር የሚለው? ቀኑ ምን ነበር የሚለው?
April 19th, 2023.
ኤፕሪል 19 2023.
And what were the violations as part of this violation notice for the record?
የተጣሱት ጉዳዮች ምንድን ነበሩ? ለሪከርድ እንዲጠቅመን።
There is a building violation for the enclosure of the garage door with wall construction. And there is a zoning violation.
በጣም ቀዝቃዛ የሆነ ደግሞ በጣም ጊዜ የወሰደ የህንፃ አሰራር ነበረ። ከዛ ደግሞ ውስጥም አሰራር ሂደቱ ልክ አልነበረም። ከዛ ቀጥሎ ደግሞ የዞኒንግ ችግርም ነበረ።
And what was the correct by date for this violation notice?
ትክክለኛው ቀን በመቼ ነው?
Be May 23rd, 2023.
May 23 2023 ዓመተ ምህረት።
Inspector Curran, can you please identify what has been marked as City Exhibit B?
የከተማው ሁለተኛ ማስረጃ ወይም ደግሞ ኤግዚቢት ቢ የሚባለው ምን እንደሚል እባክህን ግለጽልኝ በራስህ ቃል።
That is the final violation notice.
የመጨረሻ የህግ ጥሰት ማስታወቂያ።
And what was the date of that final violation notice?
የዛ ቀን የመጨረሻ ማስታወቂያ ቀኑ ምንድን ነበረ?
The October 25th, 2023.
ኦክቶበር 25 2023.
And was the correct by date on the final violation notice October 24th of 2023?
ትክክለኛው በኦክቶበር 24 2023 ዓመተ ምህረት ነበረ?
Yes.
በትክክል።
Has anything been done to correct either of those violations on this property?
በዚህ ንብረት ላይ የተፈጸሙት ጥሰት የተባሉት ይህን ጥሰት ለማስተካከል ሞክራችሁ ነበር እናንተ?
No.
አንቺን አይደለም። Okay, it shows she thought the question was for her, but I'm correcting her.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Kendrick.
And Inspector Curran, you stated that you investigated these violations?
እነዚህ ጥሰቶችን እርስዎ ናቸው የተከታተሉት?
Yes, I have.
እኔ ነኝ። አዎ።
Can you please identify what's been marked as City Exhibit C?
የከተማው ኤግዚቢት ሲ ላይ ያለውን እባክዎትን በራስዎት ቃል ይግለጹልኝ።
There's a new entryway and a new window. New wall construction.
መስገቢያና ሁለት መስኮቶች አሉ። እሱን ዝቅተኛ የኮንስትራክሽን ነው ወይ ደግሞ ግንባታ ነው።
And what date was this photograph taken?
ይሄ ፎቶ የተወሰደው በምን ቀን ነው?
This used to be a garage door, and she took the garage door off. And
Wait a
just-
minute, Samsung, please mute that person. I'm not sure who that is. Mr. Wade, thank you.
That would be April 18th, 2023.
ኤፕሪል 18 2023 ነው የተወሰደው።
And you took this photograph?
አንተ ነው የወሰድከው ይህን ፎቶግራፍ?
Yes, I have.
እኔ ነኝ። አዎ።
And can you please identify the next photograph in this series?
ቀጥሎ ያለውን ፎቶግራፍ እባክህን አስታውሰን።
That's the new entryway going into the basement.
አዲሱ የመግቢያ በር ነው።
And what date was this photograph taken?
ይሄ በመቼ ቀን ነበር የተወሰደው ይህ ፎቶግራፍ?
May 6, 2024.
ሜይ 6 2024 ዓ.ም።
And was this your most recent inspection of the property?
በቅርብ መጨረሻ ጊዜ ያደረከው አሰሳ ይሄ ነው? አዎ።
Yes.
አዎ።
Inspector Curran, what would the appellant need to do to comply these violations?
ኢንስፔክተር ከረን ይሄንን ጥሰቶችን ለማድረግ ምን ነበር የተነገረክ? ማን ነበር እንደዚህ ያደገፈ?
They would need to apply for zoning.
በዞኒንግ ምክንያት ነው። ከዛ ደግሞ የግንባታ ፍቃድም ጭምር።
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
it's difficult to hear because they're speaking coming from the appellant's phone
Okay.
as well.
Yes, Mr. Wally, would you advise the appellant, please, to keep down the noise in the background? We can hear it. And so also her phone video should be on her face so we can see her.
All right, okay. ቪዲዮውን ፊትሽ ላይ አድርጌው አንቺ መታየት ስላለብሽ ከዛ ደግሞ በጀርባ በኩል የሚረብሽ ድምጾች አሉ። እነሱ ድምጾች እንዲቀንሱ እባክሽን እርጅን።
እሺ።
Okay.
All right, thank you. Let's proceed.
አመሰግናለሁ። እንቀጥል።
Inspector Curran, one final question.
የመጨረሻ ጥያቄ ኢንስፔክተር ከረን።
Is it your testimony today that these violations were properly issued?
እነዚህ ጥሰቶች በትክክል እንደተያዙ የእርሶ ምስክርነት ዛሬ የሚሰጥ ምስክርነት ልክ ነው ብለው ያምናሉ?
Yes.
አዎ።
And they still remain on the property today?
አሁንም በዛ ንብረት ላይ ነው ያሉት አይደለም?
Yes.
እውነት ነው። Yes.
Thank you, Inspector Curran. No further questions.
ሌላ ጥያቄ የለኝም። አመሰግናለሁ አቶ ኢንስፔክተር ከረን።
Okay, Ms. Jimberg, do you have any questions for the inspector based on his testimony? Do you have any questions for him?
በሰጠው ምስክርነት መሰረት በማድረግ ለአቶ ኬንድሪክ ለኢንስፔክተሩ ጥያቄ አለሽ ወይ ወይዘሮ ጀንበሬ?
እንጃ በኋላ እንጃውን እንኳን የለኝም።
I don't have any other question for now, but if there is any, I'll reach out.
Okay, now is the opportunity to ask him questions based on his testimony.
በሰጠው ቃል መሰረት አሁን ያለሽ እድል የመጠየቅ።
I'm sure they do some of them, like, I'm sure you.
Okay, Mr. Curran, if you could mute yourself until we call on you again, thank you.
እባክሽን ድምፅሽን ቀንሽ እያላት ነው። አሁን ያለሽ የቃሪ እድል ጥያቄ ለመጠየቅ።
ጥያቄ የለኝም ማለት ነው።
For now, I don't have any other questions, she says.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Costello, do you have any other witnesses?
ወይዘሮ
I do
ካስተሎ
not, Chairman Woodson.
ሌላ ምስክር አለት ወይ? Go ahead.
I do not, Chairman Woodson.
Okay, thank you.
የለኝም። አመሰግናለሁ።
Okay, you rest your case?
ጉዳይሽን መጨረሽ?
I do, Chairman Woodson.
Okay.
ጨርሻለሁ።
Ms. Timber, tell us what's going on here. What is your version of what has happened?
በተፈጠረው ጉዳይ የእርስዎን አስተያየት ይንገሩን ወይዘሮ ጀንበሬ።
እሺ እኔ ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ አሁን የገዛሁት ያንን ቤት ማለት በ2021 ነው የገዛሁት እና ከዛ በፊት ቤት ገዝቼም አላውቅም። እንደገና ለዛም ተሞክሮ የለኝም
Okay,
እና
go ahead. So this is my first time to purchase a house, and I bought this in 2021, and this is my first time, so I don't have any other experience purchasing houses. Kathy.
እና እና ቤቱን ከገዛን በኋላ የጋራጁ በር እንትን ብሎ ነበር፣ ተሰብሮ ነበር፣ ውሃ ያስገባ ነበረ።
So when I purchased the house, the garage door was broken and there was some leakage coming out from there.
Okay. So is it your testimony that you did hire a contractor to convert the garage to a living space?
ያንቺ ምስክርነት ነው ያ የጋራጅ በሩን እንዳደረገሽ ለመኖሪያ እንዲሆን ያደረግሽበት ኮንትራት አለሽ?
የለኝም፣ ኮንትራት የለኝም። መጀመሪያ ማለት እንደዛ የሚደረግ መሆኑን አላወቅኩም ነበረ እና አሰራሁትና ካሰራሁኝ በኋላ ይሄኛው አሁን ይሄ የተሰጠኝ ቫዮሌሽን ከተሰጠኝ በኋላ ግን ስጠይቅ በጣም ብዙ ብር ጠየቁኝ እና ያንን ደግሞ ለመሸፈን አልችልም። ማለት እኔ አፍርሼ እንደገና ለመስራት በጣም ነው የሚከብደኝ። በጣም ይከብዳል።
Yeah, in the beginning, I don't have any contractor that I did with. I had contract with to do this because I didn't know and I didn't think it was a violation. But then again, after the violation notice I received, I tried to make it work. But then again, I was asked to so much money. So and I don't have the capacity to do that. So I didn't do what I was supposed to do. She says.
Okay. I believe that means, yes, she did hire somebody to convert the garage to a living space. Am I accurate?
የጋራጅ ቦታውን ወደ መኖሪያ ለመቀየር ኮንትራክት አስረሻል? ከሌላ ሰው ጋር ኮንትራክት ነበረሽ?
አላሰርኩም፣ ዝም ብዬ ነው ያሰራሁት። ምንም ነገር አላሰርኩም ከማንም ጋር።
I didn't have any contracts. I just did it by myself.
She did the work herself, or she hired a contractor to do it?
She says I did not hire. I didn't have any contract.
Who did the work? Who actually did the work itself?
ስራውን ማን ይሰራልሽ? ሰው ቀጥረሽ ነው ያሰራሽው?
ቀጥሬ አይደለም። እኔ በቀጥሬ ለማሰራት አቅም የለኝም እና ዝም ብዬ በፋሚሊ ምናምን ነው ያሰራ ነው እንጂ ኮንትራክት አላደረግኩትም።
Okay. I don't hire any contractor. My family helped me and we did it. She says.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Ms. Costello?
ሌላ ሰው ጥያቄ ያለው ሰው አለ? Mr. Costello ጥያቄ ያለዎት?
I have a question.
እኔ ጥያቄ አለኝ።
Ms. Jambert, did you file any appeal to the Philadelphia Department of Licenses and Inspections to get a zoning variance?
ለፊላደልፊያ የግንባታ ፈቃድ ሰጪዎች ይግባኝ ጠይቀሽ ነበር ወይ?
ይግባኝ አልጠየቁም፣ ግን ሄጄ እንትን ፎርሙን እንዲሰጡኝ ጠይቄያቸው ነበረ። ከዛ ያንን ፎርም ሲሰጡኝ ጊዜ ግን መጥቼ ስጠይቅ በጣም ብዙ ብር ነው የጠየቁኝ እና ለዛ ደግሞ እኔ ብቻዬን ነኝ፣ ሲንግል ነኝ፣ ምንም ነገር እንትን የለኝም፣ የሚረዳኝ ሰውም የለም። ከዛም በኋላ ተውኩት እና እንትን ኩርቱ ላይ እስከምቀርብ ድረስ እስካሁን ድረስ የሚሰጠኝን እንትን ለመጠበቅ እስካሁን ድረስ ምንም ነገር አላደረኩም።
I did not appeal, but I went to the city and asked them for the form for appeal. And when I tried to fill it out, I was asked so much money and I could not afford it. So I did not pursue it.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
ሌላ ሰው ጥያቄ አለው?
Okay. Let's do this. Ms. Costello, if you have any final argument, we need to
የመጨረሻ
hear that
ክርክር
now.
ካለዎት ወይዘሮ ካሰላ?
እኔ ነው
Chairman,
No, አይደለም።
Chairman Woodson, I would just say that as Inspector Curran stated, the violations still exist.
ቫዮሌሽን አሁንም ህግ ጥሰቱን አሁንም እንዳለ ነው የሚያሳየው።
And as Ms. Jember stated, she's aware of the violations and has not taken steps to correct them.
ወይዘሮ ጀንበር እንዳሉትም ጉዳዩን በግልጽ ተረድቶታል ጥሰት እንደነበረ፣ ነገር ግን ምንም ጥሰቱን ለማስተካከል የወሰዱት እርምጃ እንደሌለ አምነዋል።
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Timber, do you have any final comments you'd like to make that would help us with our decision?
ውሳኔ ለመወሰን እንዲረዳን የመጨረሻ ሀሳብ ካለሽ ማጋራት ያለብሽ ግዴታ እሱ እንድትነግሪኝ።
እኔ ያለኝ ግዴታማ እንትን ነው ማለት አይቼዋለሁ። እንደገና ትክክልም አልነበረም እንደዛ ማድረጌ ማለት ነው። ግን ለመስራት ፈልጌ ሄጄም ጠይቄያለሁኝ። ባይ ዘ ዌይ ወዲያውኑ እንትኑ ቫይሎሽን እንደተሰጠኝ ሄጄ አመልክቼ ማለት ፋይሉን አመልክቻለሁኝ። ከዛ ደግሞ ወደ ፎርሙም ሄጃለሁ። ከዛም በኋላ ስጠይቅም ለኮንትራክቶች ስጠይቅ በጣም ብዙ ብር ነው። እኔ ሲንግል ነኝ ባይ ዘ ዌይ እና ልጆች ማሳድግ ነኝ። ትልቋ ልጄ ደግሞ ተማሪ ነች። ማንም የሚያግዘኝ የለም። ከዛም በኋላ አሁን መስራት ምና እንትን ማለት
Stop.
Okay.
Let the interpreter speak, please.
Okay. ረዥም ስላወራሽ ነው እኔ ልቀጥል. So what she's saying is that I know it's not that right what I have done and I did not take the corrective actions, but I have tried to take the appeal and ask for the appeal firm, but because it was too much money, I could not pursue it. And I'm a single mom. I have children with me. My older child is in school, and I'm the only one who supports her. I would like it if you can consider this for me, she says.
What is it that she asking us to do?
To help you for her for the decision.
I'm not clear. Ask her what does she want us the board to do?
በዚህ በተናገርሽ ነገር ምንድን አደረግ ነው የፈለግሽው?
ማለት እኔ በቃ አፎርድ ማድረግ አልችልም። ለእንትኑ እንደገና እንትን ብዬ ዞኒንግ ሄጄ ምናምን ነገር ለመስራት በጣም ይከብደኛል እና አስተያየት እንዲደረግልኝ እፈልጋለሁ።
Okay. Because I could not afford to go to the zoning and redo all these things, I would like you to consider it to help me in doing this because I cannot afford it.
እና እንደገና ቅጣቴንም እቀበላለሁ የሚሰጠኝን ቅጣት።
Yeah, and I will accept every decision that's going to be made.
Please, it's not within the board's authority to provide help of the sort that she's asking.
በእኛ ስራ እንደዚህ ድጋፍ ለመስጠት ለዛ አይደለም የመጣ ነው፣ ለፍርድ ነው የመጣ ነው ዛሬ። ስለዚህ እኛ ልንረዳሽ አንችልም።
እሺ በቃ የመጣውን ውሳኔ መቀበል ነው፣ ምንም ነገር ማድረግ አልችልም።
If that is the case, I'll accept whatever the decision is.
Anything from anyone else before we call the vote?
ሌላ ሰው አለ መናገር ያለበት?
Okay. Thank you very much. We will now poll the board on HA-2023-001960.
Okay, I did not quite catch that. Can you repeat it? Sorry.
Okay. HA-2023-001960.
Yes.
Okay. HA dash 2023 dash 001-960.
2723 South 78th Street.
2723 South 78 Street.
Ganesh Jimber.
Ganesh Jimber.
City affirmed 120-day stay of enforcement.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Each of us are now voting, and my vote is city affirmed 120-day stay of enforcement.
Okay. ሁሉም ምርጫቸውን ይመርጣሉ። የከተማው ለ120 ቀናት እንዲታገድ አዘዋል።
City affirmed 120-day stay of enforcement.
ከኢንፎርስመንት 120 ቀናትን እንዲቆይ።
120-day stay of enforcement.
120 ቀናት የእገዳው ደግሞ ከኢንፎርስመንት እንዲቀጥል።
City affirmed with 120-day stay of enforcement.
ከተማው ለ120 ቀናት ለህግ አስፈጻሚዎቹ እንዲቀጥሉ ፈቅደዋል።
City affirmed 100 enforcement.
120 ቀናት የከተማ ኢንፎርስመንት እንዲቆይ እኔም ወስናለሁ።
Okay, I don't believe Mr. Washington is voting today on this matter.
አቶ ዋሽንግተን ዛሬ የመወሰን ጥያቄ የላቸውም ይመስለኛል።
Okay. Ms. Jimber, let me explain what we've just done.
ምን እንዳደረግን አሁን ልግለጽልሽ ወይዘሮ ጀምበሬ።
Your appeal has been denied.
ይግባኙን ተከልክለሻል።
But we've asked the city not to take any additional enforcement action for 120 days.
ነገር ግን ለቀጣይ 120 ቀናት የከተማው አስተዳደር ምንም አይነት እርምጃ እንዳይወስዱ
This gives you some addition.
ነግረናቸዋል።
This gives you some additional time to come up with a plan to correct the violations, either zoning or make other changes to correct the violations.
አሁን የተፈጸሙን ጥሰቶችን ለማስተካከል 120 ቀናትን ሰጥተንሻል። ወይ ለዞኒንግ ወይ ደግሞ በዞኒንግ ምክንያት ወይ ደግሞ በሌላ መንገድ የጠፋውን ጥፋት እንዲስተካከል ማለት ነው።
And you should also know that you have the right to appeal the decision of this board.
አሁን ለተወሰነ ውሳኔም ይግባኝ ባለ ብለሽ መጠየቅ መብት አለሽ።
If you need information as to how to do that, call the administrator's office and they will give you information.
ይሄንን እንዴት ማድረግ እንዳለብሽ ማወቅ ከፈለግሽ ለአስተዳደሩ ደውለሽ መጠየቅ ትችያለሽ።
All right, thank you very much.
በጣም እናመሰግናለን።
Okay.
Chairman
yes.
Woodson, I would just move to have cities exhibits A through C to be entered into the record.
ከኤግዚቢት እስከ ሲ ባለው ድረስ ወደ ከተማ አስተዳደሩ ፋይል እንዲገባ ፈልጋለሁኝ።
So entered.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Your witness is excused. Mr. Curran, you excuse. Ms. Jimber, you excuse.
She says she have a question.
Okay, what is that
Chairman.
question?
ምንድነው ጥያቄሽ?
ማለት እስከ 120 ቀን ማሰራት እችላለሁ ማለት ማስተካከል እችላለሁ ማለት ነው?
Does that mean in 120 days I can correct or I can fix whatever has happened?
It means that between today and 120 days, the city will not take any additional punitive actions against her. So she should start making her changes or submitting her zoning applications now before 120 days is up.
ይሄ ማለት በ120 ቀናት ውስጥ ከዛሬ ጀምሮ ያለውን የከተማው አስተዳደሮች መጥተው አንቺን የሚወስዱትን እርምጃ እንዳይኖር አዘናቸዋል። ይሄ ማለት በዚህ 120 ቀናት ውስጥ አንቺ በዞኒንግ አፕሊኬሽን ሊሆን ይችላል ወይ በሌላ መንገድ የተፈጠረውን ችግር ማስተካከል ትችላለሽ ማለት ነው።
Mr. Chairman, if I may, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
In addition, instead of applying for the zoning application, she may correct the violation by restoring the garage and restoring her home to a single-family residence.
ምንድን ነው ያሉት? የእሳቸው ሀሳብ ደግሞ በዞኒንግ አፕሊኬሽን ብቻ ሳይሆን ወይም ደግሞ አፕላይ በማድረግ ወይም ደግሞ በማመልከት ብቻ ሳይሆን አሁን የቤቱ ሁኔታ ወደ ነበረበት ሁኔታ መመለስም ከቻልሽ በዚህ 120 ቀናት ውስጥ ትችያለሽ።
She must understand that the only legally permitted use of her house is as a single-family house, not a two-family dwelling. That's why she received the violation notice.
መጀመሪያውንም የጥሰት ደብዳቤውን የተሰጠሽ የሲንግል ፋሚሊ ደግሞ የአንድ ፋሚሊ መኖሪያ ቤት የነበረውን ወደ ሁለት ስለአደረግሽ ነው። ስለዚህ ወደ ነበረበትም መመለስ ትችያለሽ።
Thank you.
ወደ ሁለት አላደረኩትም እኮ ልጄ እቺ ተማሪዋ ልጄ የምታጠናበት ሩም ነው እንጂ ሌላ ነገር አላደረኩበትም። ምንም ነገር የለውም እዛ እኮ እንጂ
She says that I only added a room for my child to study. I did not make it two-family place.
Okay. All right. In the meantime, she should also contact the inspector if she has any additional questions about how to cure the violation. Okay.
አሁን የተሰጠሽን የጥሰት ደብዳቤ ለማስተካከል ከፈለግሽም ቅድም ምስክርነት ለሰጠው ኢንስፔክተርም ማናገር ትችያለሽ ለማስተካከል እያለሽ ነው።
ስልክ ቁጥሩን የሱን እፈልጋለሁኝ። እንደገና ደግሞ እንትን ማለት ይግባኝ ለማለት እስከ ስንት ቀን ያስፈልገኛል? ይግባኝ ልጠይቅ ከሆነ እስከ መቼ ነው የሚፈቀድልኝ?
I want the inspector's number if it can be provided, and also I would like to know how many days do I have to appeal.
Call the administrator's office for appeal information. But Mr. Kern, can you put your number in the chat, please?
ለአፒል ቀናቶችን ማወቅ ከፈለግሽ ለከተማ አስተዳደሩ መጠየቅ ትችላለሽ። እነሱ ኢንፎርሜሽን ይሰጡሻል። አቶ ኬረን ደግሞ የኢንስፔክተሩ ደግሞ ስልክ ቁጥሩን እንዲያስቀምጥ ታዟል የቻቱ ላይ።
Okay. Mrs. Kern, if you could put your contact information, then Ms. Jimber, you should be able to see that in the chat.
አቶ ከረን የኮንታክት ኢንፎርሜሽኑን ያስቀምጡላት ቻት ላይ። ወይዘሮ ጀንበሬ ቻት ላይ ካየሽ አረጋግጭላቸው የእሱን ስልክ ቁጥር አድራሻ።
You muted, Mr. Kern. Are you able to do that?
አቶ ኬረን ድምፆት አይሰማም፣ ማድረግ ይችላሉ ወይ?
I just sent it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
ልክ ያለሁኝ።
Okay, we need to move on to our next matter. So, thank you, Mr. The interpreter, Mr. Wally. Ms. Jimber, the information that you need to contact Mr. Kern is in the chat. Please.
ቻቱ ላይ ያለ የኢንስፔክተሩ ስልክ ቁጥር። ይህን ጉዳይ ዛሬ መጨረስ አለብን፣ ሌሎች ጉዳዮችም ስላሉ።
አልደረሰኝም።
አገኘሽው?
ያ ደርሶኛል አሁን።
Okay, thank you, I've got it.
Okay, all right, good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, good afternoon.
Mr. Wade, what do we have next?
Brings us back to the top of the list, case number 2.
Mr. Chairman, am I dismissed?
Yes, sir, you excuse. Have a good afternoon.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Thank you. You excuse, Mr. Karen.
Case number 2, hearing appeal ending 4752, 4637 Samson Street, Camilla Boyer.
Okay, who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Jim Kelly on behalf of the city.
Afternoon, Mr. Kelly. Who's representing Kamala Boyer? Kamala Boyer.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I just want to place myself back in service.
Yes, sir.
No.
Welcome back. Okay. Perfect timing. Kamala Boyer. Anyone present representing Kamala Boyer? Mr. Wade, can you confirm service, please?
Ms. Boyer listed 4637 Sampson Street as her address on her appeal. Notice was sent to 4637 Sampson Street on March 14th, 2024.
Thank you. Mr. Pincus, what time do you have?
3:17 p.m.
3:17 p.m. Thank you. HA-2022-004-752 4637 Sansom Street. Kamala Boyer, city affirmed non-appearance.
I assume that's what Mr. Kelly is requesting.
Oh, my
Yes,
apologies,
yes.
Mr. Kelly. I didn't ask you your preference here. My apologies.
Not a problem. The city would be requesting a city affirm for failure to appear. Thank you.
Let me strike the vote and I'll start again. City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirm non-appearance.
City affirm non-appearance.
City affirm for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
Thank you very much. That takes care of that matter. Okay, Mr. Wade, what do we have next?
Case number 19, hearing appeal ending 1633 9457 Lansford Street. Mama
Yes,
Bogey.
Okay, who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, members of the board and Chairman Woodson. Mary Costello on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
Okay, thank you. Who's here? Is Mama Aboge present?
Yes, please.
Okay, ma'am, I don't see your face.
I'm right here.
Okay, alrighty. Actually, if you could bring the camera just a little closer to your face, it would be easier for us to make out your feature. Okay, all right, thank you. If you raise your right hand so you can be sworn, do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
So help me God.
Thank you very much. You can place your hand down. Okay, Ms. Costello, do you have any witnesses today?
I do, Chairman Woodson. I have Inspector David Alicio, and I believe he is on the call.
Okay, Mr. Alicio.
I am here.
Okay, all right. We'll need to have you start your video so we can see you.
There, it's starting. There you go. How you doing?
Okay, I see that you're in the vehicle, sir. Are you parked?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, Ms. Costello, please proceed.
Good afternoon, Inspector Alicio. Can you please state your full name for the record?
Sure. David Alicio Jr.,
And what's your position with the city of Philadelphia?
Field Building Inspector.
Okay, and what are your duties as part of that position?
We make follow-up inspections on case files and inspect buildings under construction.
Okay, and how long have you held that position with LNI?
Just under 7 years.
And as part of that position, are you familiar with the Eclipse system?
Yes.
And what is that system?
Eclipse is the system we use to document all permits that are issued, any inspections performed, photos, documents, case files.
Great, thank you. And are you familiar with the property located at 9457 Lansford Street?
Yes.
How so?
We had a complaint come in. That was what brought me to the address to begin with. Could have been a neighbor complaint. It doesn't really tell us who submits the complaint, but that's what brought me there originally. And once I seen the garage doors replaced with the wall, that's counted as a violation.
Okay, thank you. And I permission to share my screen,
Yes,
Chairman
please.
Woodson?
Yes.
Okay. Inspector Alicio, can you please identify what's been marked as City Exhibit A?
Yes, that is a typical notice of violation in order to correct.
And what's the date on that notice of violation?
March 4th, 2023.
Okay, and what are the violations listed on that notice?
That a building permit would be required for the physical work and a zoning approval would be required to conceal the garage and turn it into a living space.
Okay, and per that violation notice, what was the correct by date on those violations?
That would be April 7th, 2023.
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to turn your attention to what's been marked as City Exhibit B. Can you please identify this document for the record?
Yes, that would be the final notice of violation.
And what was the date of that notice?
That would be July 6th, 2023.
And July 5th of 2023 was the correct by date per this notice, or the last inspection date per this notice?
Correct.
Okay. And it's for the same two violations, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to turn your attention to what's been marked as City Exhibit C. Can you please identify this for the record?
Yes, that would just be the rear of the property showing where the garage door used to be that was replaced with an entryway door.
And what date was this photograph taken?
March 2nd, 2023.
And did you take this photograph?
Yes.
Okay. And could you please identify the next photograph in this series?
Yes, it looks like that was just the follow-up inspection. Same conditions.
Okay. And what date was that follow-up inspection?
That looks like it was July 5th, 2023, and it was actually performed by Ray Martinez.
Okay. And that's per the Eclipse file, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And then can you please identify this next photograph in this series?
Yes, that's just a photo of the front of the property. I just take photos of all sides of the property.
Okay, and when did you take this photograph?
That would be May 2nd, 2024.
And you did in fact take this photograph, is that correct?
Correct, that's me, yes.
And that was the most recent inspection of the property?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And finally, can you please identify this photograph?
Yes, that was my follow-up inspection for showing the rear of the property and no changes.
Okay, and what date was that photograph taken?
That was also May 2nd, 2024.
Okay, thank you very much. Has anything been done to correct these violations to date?
No, I haven't seen any new permits applied for or any type of zoning appeal.
Okay. And in your experience, your extensive experience as an inspector, is it your testimony today that these violations were properly written?
Yes.
And they remain in violation, this property remains in violation today. Is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
And what would the appellant need to do to comply these violations?
They would need to apply for zoning approval to convert the space from a garage to habitable space and a building permit to cover the actual materials used and inspections for attachment methods.
Okay. Thank you very much, Inspector Alicio. No further questions.
Okay. Mr. Bugay, do you have any questions of the inspector?
Not at the moment.
Okay, Ms. Castillo, do you have any additional witnesses?
I do not, Chairman Woodson.
Okay, Mr. Boyer, would you tell us what you understand what happened? You said you
Yeah,
could present your case to us now.
yes, I do understand. The neighborhood, everybody was doing it, so I thought maybe it's a normal thing to do. I didn't know I have to go through this. So when I received the permit, I asked I went to the city and I requested what to do next. So I requested the gentleman that on the line to go about it to help me to straight it up. So that's why he's on the line to follow up what they're supposed to do about it, because I didn't know what to do from
Okay, Miss, I'm a little confused. You indicated just now that when you got the permit, you didn't get a permit, did you? You mean the violation notice?
the violation notice. That's what I
Okay.
mean.
Now, you said somebody's on the line now?
Yes,
Okay, before is that person, you want the person to be your witness?
yes, please.
Okay. Now, before you call your witness, we'll need to know his name and his relationship to you, and you have to ask him specific questions so he can testify. Okay, understood?
Yes, please.
Okay, before you start, Ms. Costello, any questions or concerns?
Not at this moment, Chairman
Okay.
Woodson.
All
Wait
right.
and see who the.
Yeah, Ms. Boge, who is your witness? Give us that person's name.
He can say his name. He's on the face on the petition. He
My
can
name is
meet.
my name is Tolu from Milestone Construction. Tolu Alusi.
Okay. Well, we'll need you to spell your name, sir.
TOLU.
Okay.
Last name AWOLUSI.
Okay. And before you start in any testimony, I just need to know, what is your relationship to this property?
She hired me as a contractor to help her actually get the process correct.
Or not to build it, but to correct the violation.
Correct the violation, yeah.
Okay. All right. Ma'am, please ask the question, whatever questions you'd like him to testify to.
So,
Excuse me, Chair, pardon me.
Yes.
I don't believe Mr. Olusi was sworn.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. He wasn't. My apology. Mr. Awolusi, please raise your right hand so you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You can place your hand down. Okay, please proceed, Ms. Aboge.
yes, the first violation, I went to the city to give me a time to figure out what to do. So the second one, when I called so many people to.
Okay, Ms. Aboge, I thought you were going to ask your witness to testify on your behalf, correct?
Yes.
So you have to ask him a question so he can respond.
Okay. So I just want to know how far they have reached with the correction.
Okay.
All right, so when she reached out to us, last summer to get the violation cleared up, I gave her the options. I said that we can file for it as far as zoning goes to see if they'll approve it as a living unit, or if not, she would just have to keep it as a storage space. So up until now, we got the plans drawn and we're supposed to submit it with the city. My expediter just didn't get to actually turn it into the city to be able to go through zoning and everything. But I will get that squared away within maybe the next 30 or 60 days.
Okay, so you've essentially, with her, decided to submit a zoning appeal to allow that space to be converted to a living space.
Yes.
Okay. And have you spoken to the inspector or any other Illinois officials to determine if that would be the proper way to correct the violation?
I mean, I've dealt with the city a little bit to know, like, maybe if we don't get it as a living quarters, then we would just keep it as a what's it called, a storage either way, because she has other tenants upstairs. I mean, but at this point, it's pretty much
No,
framed
it's
up.
a point of correction. It's my cousin that lived there.
Yeah.
My cousin.
Okay, wait a minute, because we got cross. Let's do one thing at a time. We'll get back to you, Ms. Oboge, with in terms of occupancy issues. But the issue, though, is the conversion of a garage to a living space and work without a permit, correct?
Yes.
What do you propose to do in terms of the permit issue?
I mean, I'm going to apply for the permit. I mean, either way, like I'm going to apply for it and turn in all the documents that I need. I know I need plans for it to be able to actually go in front of zoning and for me to get a permit for it.
Okay, when were you hired by her?
Sometime in I think July, something like that.
July of what year?
Last year, 2023.
And you haven't been able to get plans and things done yet?
I've had plans drawn, but the plans they initially gave me is to just leave it as is. So I actually pretty much it took my architect maybe like a good 2.5 months to maybe even get me that. But I sent it back to him and told him that we needed something different. So when they turned back the plans to me in January, that's when I was like, okay, well, I know what to do. And I turned it over to Expediter already. But I mean, of course, when I'm still checking through everything, it's not done yet.
Okay. Mr. Boga, any additional information? Any additional questions for your witness? Mr. Boga?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Any additional questions for your witness?
I don't know what to say because in the beginning I thought maybe everything is being submitted to the city. So
That hasn't happened yet based on his testimony. Ms. Costello, do you have any cross-examination?
I don't have any further questions for them. I think they've stated that they know that the violations exist and they're trying to get them complied.
Okay. One additional issue just came out is that Ms. Aboge, you do not live in this house, is that correct?
it's my the niece and the sister that I live there.
Do you live there?
Not at the moment, but I spend time there when I want to.
Okay,
When-
but what is your residence here in Philadelphia? What is your address in Philadelphia?
Right now, at the moment, I'm working in New Jersey as a living case, so I stay.
But when you live in Philadelphia, where do you live?
That place.
What address?
9457 Lansell Street.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Chairman,
Anything
Chairman
else?
Whitson,
Yes.
the city would stipulate to the fact that she is the owner for the deed. That's public record.
Okay.
She's the owner's
Understood.
property.
I was concerned that there may be investment issues in terms of being owned as an investment property. That's why I asked a series of questions I did. Okay. All right, thank you. Is there anything from anyone else? Ms. Aboge, anything you want to add that would help us make a decision in this matter?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Costello.
I just wanted to ask for time. So since he did not get it done, if it's possible that you give him a time for him to get it straight up, because I was out of the country visiting my mom for the past 3 months. So when I came back, I contacted him to make sure everything is updated. So he told me that they are in a process submitting stuff to the city. So I thought everything was done. I was out of the country last year for 3 months. I came in early this year. So if please, you can give me a time to follow up to whatever he needs to done to get it
Okay.
done. I really appreciate it.
Mr. Boge, once you or your contractor needs to contact the inspector like today. They need to know what you're doing. That's up to you guys to make that happen. Ms. Costello, do you have any final argument?
Mr. Chair.
Chairman Whitson.
Wait, wait just a moment. Ms. Washington, I'll come back to you. I just want to hear from Ms. Costello. Yes, Ms. Costello?
Chairman Whitson, per the appellant, they hired a contractor nearly a year ago and nothing has happened in terms of obtaining the building permit and the zoning permit. They've also admitted to the fact that they know these violations exist, which is why they hired the contractor in the first place. We would ask for a city affirm for both of these violations.
Thank you. Mr. Washington?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just curious because she had put on her application back in March of 23 that she just needed a little more time to get it complied. And she's asking for a little bit more time. Again, I don't understand. Ms. Abuye, could you respond to that statement, please?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the reason why I'm saying this is because when I get a time to get to someone that can do, because I didn't know what to do from the beginning. Because it is the first time I came across something like this. I consult with so many people. So my realtor recommended
No,
him
no,
for.
no, no, no. My question to you is, you
Mhm.
asked for more time back in 2023, and now you asking for more time again. Why is that?
Because when I submitted everything to him, I thought he know what to do with the city and where to go and what to take care of it. So I pay him to do it. And then and so I was expecting him to. So I even tested him that, are we ready to go? I didn't know what was going, but you told me that everything is on point. So that's what I'm asking for, a lot of time to talk
Mr.
to
Chair,
him.
no more questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anything from anyone else?
I have an
Mr.
additional-
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, can I ask for a brief executive session?
Okay, all right, we're gonna go off the record for just a few moments.
I need a breakout room.
Me too.
Okay, thank you. Just want to make sure that we have everyone back. I know we were having some connectivity issues here with one of our, okay, I think we have everyone back. Okay. With regard to number 19, that's HA 2023-001633, 9457 Lansford Street, Mama Aboge. Ms. Costello, did you submit your information to be part of the record?
I have not yet.
Would you
Chairman
do that
Whitson,
before we vote, please?
I'd like to move to introduce city exhibits through 6 into the record.
Okay, thank you. Vote. I will begin to vote on the 945. So moved to consider the submission of records. City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
Be affirmed.
City affirmed.
Thank you very much. The city's position has been affirmed. Ms. Aboye, please contact the inspector, you and your contractor. But if you want to appeal our decision, you may do that. If you need information as to how to do that, please check with the administrator's office and they can give you the information that you will need. But in the meantime, this matter has been resolved. Thank you very much. Everyone is excused. Okay, Mr. Wade, what do we have next?
Chairman Woodson, I'm so sorry to interrupt. It came to the city's attention that there were 2 cases that have been resolved that were not read into the record at the beginning of the hearings.
Okay, which one of those are they?
That would be case number 30, HA 2023-001963-9951 Academy Road. That matter is moot.
Moot, thank you.
And then as well as case number 36, that's appeal number HA 2023-002016 for 1423 West Erie Avenue. And that matter is now moot as well.
Moot, thank you very much. All righty, thank you. Okay.
Case number 38. Hearing appeal ending 2030, 3900 North 8th Street, Arma Sosa Pineda.
Okay, Benita. Who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, Caitlin Carmody on behalf of the city.
Good afternoon. Irma Sosa Benita.
believe she's here. She's just muted currently.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself. Ms. Wade, you may need to help her unmute.
Yeah.
Chairman Woodson, as a preliminary matter, I'm so sorry. I know the appellant has been waiting very patiently. And it's just come to my attention in the last 20 to 30 minutes that there was a time commitment for our inspector, and at the last minute, we would have to request a continuance, even a very short continuance to the next hearing date. We've had a conflict and we would need to request a continuance.
Okay. Now, okay, just one thing, going forward, Ms. Carmody, early on, let Mr. Wade know if you have a time constraint on your witnesses, and we can try to
Absolutely.
accommodate you.
It was a complete oversight, and we'll be prepared for the next listing.
Okay. Ms. Benita, please put your name on the record, please, ma'am.
My name is Irma Sosa Pineda.
Benita, okay, my apologies. The city just asked for a continuance because the witness is no longer available that they had.
Well, I'm sorry, I apologize, but I would like to know, because my husband lives in that property, because we are separated. I have here my divorce papers that I'm working on.
Okay.
And he's living in that house.
Okay,
he's a truck driver, so he go late night and he go early in the morning.
Okay.
And he use the rear door.
Okay, Ms. Benita, no more testimony because the city has asked for continuance. But I'm going to ask you this: have you spoken to the inspector?
No, myself. I just get the paper.
You need to call and/or send an email to the inspector and explain to him what you just said. That may help resolve matters, but you have to do that as soon as you can. In the meantime, we're going to continue this so that the city can reorganize its case, okay? So I apologize to you because you've been sitting for a while. So understand that it's an imposition to you, so my apologies to you.
It's okay.
But if you call the inspector or send him an email, that may help resolve this matter, okay?
Can I know what the inspector is, please?
Ms. Carmody, who would your inspector be?
If I could actually just be put in a breakout room with the appellant, I believe we could just discuss and I could give her the information.
Okay. All right. Were you available to do that, Ms. Benita?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We'll put you two of you in the breakout room, Mr. Wade.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to case number 39. Hearing appeal ending 2033, 1254 South 28th Street, Joseph McHugh.
Okay. Mr. McHugh, and who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, Leonard F. Reuter for the city of Philadelphia.
Mr. Reuter, do you have any witnesses?
I believe Inspector Fred Wiggins is the witness.
Okay.
Logged in.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I have recorded that there was a timing issue on this, or did we?
Yeah, we resolved that earlier.
We resolved that earlier? Thank you.
Okay. So let's do this. I don't see the inspector. If he could identify himself so we can swear him in.
Yeah, he's logged in.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, sir, we'll need you to just open your video.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Wiggins, raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down. Mr. McHugh, likewise, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. Now, there's someone sitting next to you, sir. You can place your hand down, but I would caution you that you can't have any conversations during the hearing because this disrupts the court reporter. And so this person is perfectly fine sitting there, but no conversations because we will hear it all unless you're muted. Understood?
Yeah, he's the co-owner of the house.
And the individual can't be advising you during the hearing. Okay? You understood?
He's just the
wait a minute, sir.
owner on the case.
If you can't speak because your name isn't on the record. We don't know who you are.
I believe it is.
It is?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe he is the co-owner of the property.
I didn't know that was. I only had one name.
Probably because that's all that appears on the list, but I believe the actual notice of appeal does have the actual form had both names, but
Okay, who's the other person?
Matthew Palmer.
Did you spell your last name, sir?
Palmer.
All right, is your name on the deed?
Yeah.
And Miss,
Excuse me, Chair, I apologize. I did not catch the gentleman's first name.
okay, would you repeat that, sir?
Matthew.
Okay, now who will be doing the test, speaking on behalf of this man in response to this violation and the appeal? Who will be doing that? You have to say something.
Joe McHugh.
Okay, Mr. McHugh will be the person, the spokesperson?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty. Okay. So let's do this then. Let's I think we can proceed then. Mr. Roderick, please.
sure. I'm just going to see if I can share my screen very briefly. But before I do that, I just want to indicate that I don't believe there's any actual dispute about the nature of the violation. This is a violation that was issued for work having been done on the property that was not did not receive a final inspection. That is, there was a permit for the work that had been issued some time ago, but it never received final inspection, and particularly some of that involved the underpinning for the property for the work that was done. I believe, based upon the information that's provided in the notice of appeal, that the appellants are basically saying that they purchased the property having been presumably assured by the seller that everything was legal and taken care of. So, again, I'm not sure if they're asking for more time or if they're trying to seek the ability to try to legalize the changes, but I'll just go forward now and just so you understand what this is. So let me sorry, having a little bit of difficulty with my screen. All right, let me see if I can share screen. Okay, I have just a few photos to show. Inspector Wiggins, is this the property that you saw? Did you? I'm sorry.
No, that's not the property.
That's. Sorry, hold it. I have the wrong thing up.
Yeah, that's the previous case.
Yep, sorry about that.
Okay, Mr. Roy.
All right. All right. While I'm doing that, I'll just ask a few questions. Mr. Wiggins, are you familiar with the property?
Before we do that, Mr. Ryder, we probably need to know who he is and by whom is he employed and etc.
Sure. I'm sorry. I'm just having a couple problems with my computer kind of froze up.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you. Inspector Wiggins, just can you tell the board what your position is?
I'm a building inspector of the city of Philadelphia.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
Since February 2017.
Okay. And in the course and scope of that work, have you inspected the property located at 1254 South 28th Street?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when did you do that inspection, if you remember?
I got the notice of violation, which is the that would be on the March the 15th, 2023.
Okay. And why did you go out to the property?
Because the permit came up for expiration, and that meant that the permit was open. And I discovered in my research that the building did not have a final inspection, and it was occupied, rendering it an unsafe building.
I'm sorry, you were told that the building did not have a certificate of occupancy?
Yes, sir, that was by my research, because I'm the district inspector. So when it came up for expiration and I did my research and review, I realized that this property had not and not had a final inspection
And
before occupation.
okay, and was this a new construction?
It's no, it was a alteration with an addition to the back, to the
Okay,
rear,
so the rear
with
that's
underpinning.
okay, so the rear addition needed to have basically the property needed amended certificate of occupation to allow that rear addition to be occupied. Is that right?
What it would require is a certificate of approval because it wasn't new construction, it was an alteration that included current alteration also to the existing part of the structure.
Okay, and that rear that addition was there a permit initially issued to allow them to move forward with that work?
There was a permit issued, and therefore it required a sequence of inspections.
Okay. And as a result of your inspection, and after your inspection, did you do research into the city's records on the property?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And were you able to determine whether or not those final inspections took place?
Yes, I was able to determine that it did not take place, and neither was it scheduled. No, neither was there any paperwork submitted for the special inspections for the underpinning.
Okay. And by special inspections, can you explain to the board what that means?
It's special inspections is a statement of special inspection is issued is submitted to the city prior to the permit being issued. The engineer says he outlines all the different items structurally that he would be responsible for. And at the end of the project, he would send another form called a special inspections compliance form, in which he would say that he would have done all that he said he was responsible for. And that happens prior to having a final inspection.
Okay. And so basically, with construction that requires special inspections, it means that there's an engineer that basically monitors the project and then writes a report for the city so that
Yes.
the city's assured that the work was properly done.
Yes.
Okay. And in this case, it needed that was required because there was underpinning work.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And could you just briefly explain to the board what underpinning work entails?
Underpinning is where the foundation and the footing of the proposed construction is going deeper than the adjacent building, the footings of the adjacent buildings. So there needs that type of underpinning in order to support the adjacent buildings to avoid any collapse.
Okay. Now I'm gonna try once again to share my screen. Hopefully it will be okay this time. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I can't really make it bigger without it getting blurry, but oh, look, I can. And is this the property in question?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And so so the work was done in the rear of this property?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me just see if I'm not sure I actually have a picture of the rear, if you bear with me.
No, you would not have any because I was not permitted to get to the rear of the building in order to take a photograph.
Oh, I see. Okay. But you did confirm that there was final inspection had not taken place and that you had
Yes.
not received the completion of the special
Yes.
inspection.
Mhm.
Okay. And is it your position that the lack of final inspection and the special inspection report may imply that there is a safety issue with the addition that was in the rear?
Yes, sir.
Because the city is not assured that it was properly constructed. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Neither did
Now,
we have the engineer sign off saying that the work was according to his input was completed.
okay. And if somebody purchases a property where there's an outstanding a permit that's not been closed out because you don't have the final inspection and you don't have the special inspection report, the new owner would still be responsible then for providing that. Is that right?
Yes, the responsibility is transferred to the new owner.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Okay, alrighty. Mr. McHugh, do you have any cross-examination for the inspector?
Yeah, just first off, we did get a clear L&I from the city.
Okay, Mr.
when we
McHugh,
bought-
Mr.
Yeah.
McHugh, this isn't you putting on your case. This is you questioning the inspector based on what he just said. You can put your case on in a moment, but in the meantime, do you have any cross-examination questions based on his testimony?
The only thing I would like to cross him on when he did show up at our house to notify us in March of 2023, he asked if he didn't have couldn't inspect the property, and I said, no, you can inspect it if we can clear this up now.
Okay, Mr. McHugh, what is your question?
He said that we didn't allow him access.
Now I'm asking you, you have to formulate your statement in the form of a question.
I don't have a question then.
Okay, all right, thank you. Mr. Otter, any additional witnesses?
I have no additional witnesses.
Okay.
And the city only had the photographs to show. The other exhibits would have just been the violation notices that were already attached to the appellant's appeal. So I would move that 2 photos just be admitted into the record, city 1 and 2.
Okay, so moved. Okay, Mr. McHugh, now tell us what you understand is happening here.
Okay. So we bought the house in December of 2021. Of course, at the time, we didn't know anything about that. We got a clear L&I from the city that was provided to the seller's broker.
What did you get? What did you say you got?
It was a property certificate from the L&I department that showed no violations or liens.
Okay.
And so when Mr. Wiggins came to the house in March of 2023, of course, this was brand new news to us. We had never heard this before. We knew there had been work on the house, but we assumed it had been legally done. I did offer for him at that time that if it would clear it up, he could come in the house. It was pouring down rain that day, that he could come in, take pictures, do whatever he needed to do. He said that I couldn't request that. He said, since I didn't do the work, I couldn't request the inspection. And so fast forward, I don't know if the property was ever inspected. I wasn't here during that time. I'm more than happy to get it inspected, but from what everybody's telling me is I'm responsible. However, I can't ask for an inspection. That has to be done with the previous owner or the contractor that's listed. I've spoken to the contractor that's listed on the sheet, Julio Moreno. He states that he never did work on this property.
I'll object to hearsay.
So noted, but for the record, overruled. Please proceed.
So he said that he told me that he had not done any work. And then Lanier King, the person we purchased the house from, is deceased. So unfortunately, I cannot speak with her. And I have no way to find out who I would speak to.
Okay. Sir, did you check the record to see what permits were pulled and that sort of thing?
I do have the copies of the permits, and I do see there were 2 permits, actually, one for underpinning and then one for erection of a 2-story rear addition with basement foundation underpinning. One of the underpinning ones is completed. That was case number 634424. It was for just underpinning. It was requested in May 17th, 2018 and resolved in July 23rd of 2019. But I believe the one that is not resolved is building permit 883811, and that's for the erection of the 2-story rear addition.
Okay. You have any success reaching the architectural engineer that worked on the underpinning?
I've tried to call Mr. Contreras, Moreno Contreras. I have no idea who he was since I didn't have this. He stated to me that he's never done work on 28th Street.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
My biggest question is, how can I get this resolved?
Mr. Router, have you had any opportunity to have a conversation with Mr. McHugh? This is a unique set of circumstances.
No, we
Chair,
haven't, but go ahead,
I
sir.
apologize. I do have a question.
Yeah.
Mr. McHugh, you mentioned Mr. Marino, the special inspections engineer, or is that the special inspections engineering company?
No, he was the contractor that was listed on the residential building permit.
Okay, so do you have a special inspections engineer contact information?
I have no idea any of that. I didn't own the house when those
Right.
were issued, so
And
I've never seen those requests.
okay, so did you say, I'm just trying to verify that you mentioned that there was a permit for underpinning
Correct.
and there was no engineer's name on that permit?
On that one, there is not, and it shows that it was complied with on July 23rd, 2019.
And there's just compliance with an engineering firm, not an actual engineer, correct?
It just says it's construction services, but it doesn't have an engineer on it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Router, just asking, have there been any opportunity to come up with a solution to this?
No, but I mean, we haven't had discussions with the appellant, but in a case like this, it's there's two options. I mean, again, they can always reach out to the prior owner or developer who was involved, who they purchased the property from, to get additional information, or if they felt that there was any issue with respect to disclosures, that's between them. As far as correcting the problem, what they will need to do is engage the services of a design professional, which could normally would be, and in a case like this, probably an engineer, but could also be an architect. Very likely could be an architect who would then go through the property and go look at the work that was done, and then reach out. That person would reach out to L&I to indicate what additional steps needed to be taken, but presumably they could, if they're able to, they might be able to do the site safety, the special inspection report, and then provide that to L&I, requesting the final inspection. I don't know about the allegation that the current property owner doesn't have the authority to call for the final inspection. I think per se that wouldn't be accurate, but perhaps that's because this is under special inspection. So it's really the design professional that would take care of that work. And again, unfortunately, I don't have a copy of the original permit because it was issued just before the city switched over to the Hanson system. I have the record of the permit having been issued in the Eclipse system, but I don't have a copy of the actual permit. So I can't say who the engineer was that was originally listed for that. But again, they can get their own engineer to work on this. And, typically if it's an engineer that's got experience in the city of Philadelphia that's dealt with this before, they would know what steps needed to be taken. But I think the basic issue here is that the special inspection report was not provided and the final inspection didn't take place. And the fact that the seller didn't disclose that, or there was some confusion about that at the time the property was conveyed, doesn't alleviate the responsibility of the current owners to see that that's taken care of. I would have no objection to giving to the board marking this city affirmed and then giving them an appropriate amount of time to reach out to, a design professional to try to get this worked out.
Okay. I do have one question follow-up for Mr. Wiggins, though. Mr. Wiggins, the response regarding the current owner's ability to call for an inspection, what is that about?
Actually, the scope of work on the permit includes the actual alteration and the underpinning. It's on one permit as the scope of work. And I did tell him that he doesn't have access to the permit in the Eclipse system. So he had
But I'm asking you a different question. There was a statement that he could not ask for an inspection because it could only be called for by the contractor, engineer, or the previous owner.
That is correct from a point of view that he had no access to the Eclipse system. So therefore, he could not schedule the inspection. Usually when we do inspections, we deal with the general contractor who has knowledge of the ongoing system and the processes.
So that
Owner
means,
doesn't have that.
yeah, so that means if he opens up an Eclipse account, he in fact could go into that address and request online an inspection.
Yes, he could do that, and we'll be willing to help him in doing and getting the inspection done.
Okay. So I think, Mr. McHugh, I think that's part of the issue. There's a misunderstanding here. You can go into the Eclipse and create an account and then ask for an inspection under that account. You also maybe define more documents that you need in Eclipse.
Mr. Chair, if I understand, I believe, I guess I'd like to ask a question, and then if I get, depending on the answer, have you, Mr. McHugh, endeavored to speak with either an engineer or an architect independently to ask them what you need to do to resolve this issue? Have you spoken to to an independent architect or engineer to ask for their help?
I have not. I didn't know that was an option for me. I didn't, I've never owned a house that had construction, so. But
Well, this is an unusual circumstance that someone did work and didn't do all the things they needed to do. But what the city is saying is in order to resolve this, you need to schedule an inspection, but you probably can't get it inspected unless you now have someone certify that what work was done in the property before you bought it was done in accordance with code. And for that, you would probably need to hire an architect or an engineer to do and give that certification. At least that would be my understanding. And that maybe needs to be explained to you, perhaps by either Mr. Inspector Wiggins, Mr. Reuter, or alternatively, the independent person you contract with.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for Inspector Wiggins.
Yes.
Inspector Wiggins, at this point with the underpinning, yourself or a special inspections engineer that Mr. McHugh would bring on board, how would they go about verifying that the underpinning was done correctly in order to finalize that permit? Would it require any digging?
The engineer has a method whereby he could test the concrete to start with, and whatever processes he employ, right? His signature and seal, right, would be accepted with his report once it meets the standard of the code.
Okay, so he would basically do a small boring of the concrete going down, correct?
I would assume that, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. McHugh, do you understand what the inspector just said?
Yeah, I wish somebody had told me this over a year ago. It would have been nice.
Okay. All right. But now,
Mr. Chair, can we have a quick brief on this? And I mean less than 5 minutes.
Okay. All righty. We're going to take a short recess. Mr. Reuter, any final argument before we vote?
No.
Okay.
Should be
Mr.
fine.
McHugh, any final comments before we vote?
No.
Okay. After considering all the testimony and the facts presented in this case regarding HA-2023-002-033, 1254 South 28th Street, Joseph McHugh, Matthew Palmer, city affirmed with a 1-year stay of enforcement.
City affirmed 1-year stay of enforcement.
City affirmed with a 1-year stay of enforcement.
City affirmed with a 1-year stay of enforcement.
City affirmed 1-year stay of enforcement.
City affirmed 1-year stay of enforcement.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McHugh, Mr. Palmer. This is a complicated mess that you're dealing with. So we've affirmed the city's violation, but we're giving you 1 year to try to work it out before any additional enforcement action is taken against you.
Thank you. It won't take that long.
Okay, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next case. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Marauder, your witness is excused. I didn't want to, Mr. Wiggins is excused.
Sure.
And you are as well, unless you have other matters.
I think I have one more case that's on the list, but I don't know if anybody is going to be here for that.
Okay. Mr. Wade, what do we have next?
43, hearing appeal ending 2078, 6208 Callow Hill Street, Ralph Burnett.
I have that listed as moot compliant.
Okay,
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think that the person from the city can say something because we just have a meeting in the meeting room and
Okay,
we
wait. Oh, ma'am, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. You were interrupting a different case. Just
I'm
sit
sorry.
tight for a minute. Yeah. Let's go back to 6208 Callow Hill, 2078. Mr. Ralph Burnett. Is that person present? Because I believe we read it into the record earlier. It's moot compliant.
And good afternoon, Kristen Patchell for the city. It is moot complied, Chairman Woodson.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. All righty. Before we go to the next matter, Mr. Wade, let's hear from Ms. Carmody, Caitlin Carmody.
Thank you. I've spoken with the appellant. I believe we can get this matter resolved before the next listing. I just wanted to confirm that the appellant is okay to be dismissed for.
Oh yes, Miss Benita, my apologies. You can unmute yourself. The attorney indicating that you two can work things out. So we're going to continue this matter. You're muted, ma'am, so we can't hear you. We can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I can leave now?
Yes, you can leave. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful leave of the rest of the day.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Ms. Carmody.
Thank you. That concludes my matters.
Okay, Mr. Wade. So what do we have next, Mr. Wade?
So I believe this is the last matter on the list. This is case number 51, hearing appeal ending 2416, 1930 Hoffman Street, Newman Investing LLC.
Okay, who's representing the city?
May it please the board, Leonard F. Reuter for the city of Philadelphia.
Thank you. Mr. Reuter, I believe opposing counsel is Lewis Blout Esquire. Is anyone present representing 1930 Hoffman Street? Is Newman Investments LLC? Anyone present? We aren't getting a response, Mr. Reuter. What is your pleasure?
The city would ask, given the time, it's that this matter was listed for a 12:30 hearing, so we'd ask that the case be dismissed for failure to appear.
Okay, thank you.
Listed on the appeal, Newman Investment listed 3 Dover Court, West Hampton, New Jersey. Service was sent to 3 Dover Court on March 7th. And for attorney Louis Blouth, his address was listed as 304 Ross Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And service was sent to Mr. Blouth on 3/7/2024.
Okay, thank you very much. Alrighty, time, Mr. Pincus?
4:27 p.m.
4:27 p.m. With regard to HA-2023-002-416-1930 Hoffman Street, city affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
Okay, thank you very much. That matter is resolved. Thank you, Mr. Reuter. You excuse?
Thank you, and I would also ask if my witness, Mr. Curran, be excused.
Yes, Mr. Curran, likewise. Have a good afternoon, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
Okay. All righty. If there's anything else, if there isn't anything else, I believe.
My case hasn't been heard yet.
Okay, sir. What is your name and what is your case?
Alice Jones.
Alice Jones, my apologies, man. I can't make out your face. What is your case?
2023-002-009.
What's the address?
2137 Princeton.
Okay, wait a minute. 2137 Princeton.
At number 37.
That was read as me.
I have number 35.
I believe that was listed as moot.
Chairman
Dallas
Woodson,
Jones.
this is Jim Kelly on behalf of the city.
Yeah.
Excuse me, this case is moot and it was read as such at the beginning of the list.
Okay, now what number was that? Because I'm not seeing it for some reason.
I have it as
35.
35.
35. Yes, that was listed as moot.
I've been sitting here for 4 hours listening to all your
Okay,
cases.
at the beginning, I asked everyone to pay close attention, and we read that address, and we called the name and listed it as moot.
Yeah, y'all
You
said
didn't.
muted. I don't know what that means. Y'all
That's
said
why. Did you hear my instructions? If you didn't understand what moot meant, to call the administrator, they would explain it to you. It meant for today, though, that your matter has been resolved.
what that means.
If you want additional information, call the administrator's office and they will explain it to you. That number is on your communication. Okay?
So resolve means that the fine still exists.
The resolve, you'll need to call the administrator's office and they will give you this information. But for you didn't need to have a hearing today. That's what it initially means, because it's listed as moot. Either the case could have been withdrawn for some other reason, we don't know. We just know that the lawyer indicated that it was moot.
Oh, well, I sat here for 4 hours listening to y'all, and
Yeah, you didn't have to do that. You at the beginning of the hearing, we told everyone to listen, and your name was called more than once.
No, it was only called once. It just said
Oh.
muted. It just was called once. It just said muted. And y'all
It said-
called my name and address, and then y'all said muted, and then y'all went on to the next person.
Yeah, it said moot. And in the beginning, I gave everyone the same instructions. If you're listed as moot, your matter is resolved for today. If you need additional information as to what moot represents or moot complied, then you should call the administrator's office. Those are the instructions I gave at the beginning of the hearing. And so in this instance, I apologize if you sat here and there was other things you needed to do, but your case is resolved. If you want other information, you should call the administrator's office, okay?
Actually, I learned something by sitting here for 4 hours.
Okay. All right. Have a good evening. Good evening. If that's it for today, we're now closing the record.
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes.
think there's another individual who's shown and muted with the name Calvin White, who might also be
He's an inspector.
affiliated.
He's an inspector.
He's an inspector. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, inspectors. Unless you really want to, you're free to go. Everybody have a good day. Good evening.
Thank you. See you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.